Hello!
Boobs!
Jesus Christ.
Nothing changes.
Michael Hessentheimer's ball sack.
Hello! Yes! Welcome to Dice of the Beholder presents the Chronicles of Nidum, episode 87. Run by us, obviously, here at Dice of the Beholder, and streamed on the ever-commentating Heavyweight RPG.
Heavyweight RPG.
Heavyweight RPG. Haven't done that in a while. A long time. So, before we get into it, as always, a word about our sponsors, because there are more now. There's an extra official one. First and foremost, though, as always, Loki Battle Mats, an award-winning UK-based TTRPG accessory creator. There are many books of battle mats, little, big, giant sizes, and their modular book sets are full of amazing artwork that are an awesome backdrop to any tabletop game. If you are interested in finding out more, please search Loki Battle Mats, L-O-K-E, on Facebook, or visit lokibattlemats.com to view their amazing artwork and shop their physical maps, and pop over to Drive-Thru RPG, where you can find quite a few of their digital maps as pay what you want. So please go over there and check them out. Our second sponsor is the wonderful Blink Dog Dice. Love them. We all have, a great deal of the people watching or our fans also have a lot of examples of their work. They are an amazing a small dice maker based in Cardiff. You can see awesome examples of their work available on their Etsy store. All you need to do is search Blink Dog
Correct
Dice.
yourself to take amazing out then.
Did I not
They're
say
an
amazing again?
small.
I just realised that I was going to say amazing twice very quickly in the same sentence. So I search for Blink Dog Dice, all one word.
Don't you dare call them amazing.
Blink Dog Dice, all one word, on social media platforms, and the same goes for Etsy as well. Go show them some love. Now, officially a sponsor. Finally, we have Sirenscape. So thanks, as always, for the amazing atmosphere and music. You can add sounds you will hear tonight and more to your games when you download the Sirenscape desktop or mobile app. The app is free. It comes with 20 sound sets that are already included to get you started, and you don't even need to register. However, please do, because the rest of the sound sets are awesome, and go and check out sirenscape.com to find out more, because epic games need epic sound.
Right. I was gonna cue you up for that. I was gonna do a segue into it. But don't forget to tell them about our other sponsor, Diet Pepsi. Dice of the Beholder, as always, brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Please, guys, stop talking about that one ad.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Please stop talking about that one ad we did with that one Kardashian.
Not a sponsor.
It was really embarrassing. That's all we asked it. Diet Pepsi, for when they don't have Diet Coke.
Not a sponsor.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got a certain someone who really wants to say hello.
Okay, yeah. I will go to everyone else. And yes, everyone gets to say hi to the baby beholder. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, baby beholder.
Hi, Griffin. Yes, Griffin wants to join us.
He's not in me anymore.
No, he's just on you.
No, he's on
Like
me,
a
yeah.
fist hugger.
And he has been asleep up until just before we started. And now I think he's hungry.
I have a baby.
Like Jen, he woke up just in time from his nap for the beginning of the D&D game.
Yeah. The little motherfucker just wants to play some D&D.
Or do you just want to play? Yeah. Oh.
No, at a height.
Hi.
He'll be playing the part of Honey today.
Is he daddy?
If he's
playing part of Honey the Badger.
It's weird because if you could get him to listen to what I'm about to say, he'll probably be asleep by the time I finish the last time on the Chronicles of Nidum.
If you do that, I'm going to go make a bottle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good choice. Sounds good.
Because you were there, you don't need to know.
I remember every detail.
Okay.
I do not.
I remember everything we've ever done.
So
Every character. Every NPC.
Mm-hmm.
okay, the story so far then. If everyone's ready.
Are you going to start from the beginning? Are you going to do a full recap?
A little bit.
Yeah, because it's a season break.
Yeah.
You want to go all the way back to the beginning, so it starts with Sam. Dad went on a hunting trip and hasn't come back. And then Carry On My Way with Son.
Carry On My Way with Son playing really quietly in the background.
This Dice of the Beholder brought to you as always by Kansas. I'm going to say, is it Kansas?
Kansas. It is Kansas.
Yeah. The state and the band, both sponsored.
But yes, what must now feel like an age ago, but is in fact less than a year, most of our party left their hometown and sheltered upbringing as exiles, cast out into a world they knew much less about than they had been led to believe. Over the last year then of travel, they had made friends and enemies alike, thwarting empires, freeing slaves, befriending rulers, but always searching for their place in the world and maybe somewhere they could eventually call home. More recently, their adventures seemed to come to a head when a chance to complete most of their gathered tasks at once presented itself in the heart of the Empire. It was there in Paras, below the seat of elven power, that during a prison break, one of their number elected to destroy a glowing crystal heart, not knowing that their actions would change the face of the world as they knew it.
They did not. They did not elect to do any such thing. Twas a mishap.
We now join the party mere days after this monumentous event, where, after stealing an airship and fleeing south to the home of a friend, they were tasked with journeying to Gracia to maintain peace at the beginning of this new era. On the
Billy,
way
you
there-
think the same thing I'm thinking. I don't think monumentous is a word, is it? I think I'm pretty sure he's combined two words there.
You've made up a word.
Yeah, I think he's done a little portmanteau.
Both me and Greg's faces just went.
He's just waiting.
Carry on.
He's just waiting
Sorry.
for us to be
No,
done.
no.
Get on with.
No, that's fine.
Monumental, momentous.
Yeah, those are two words. Those are two words. Definitely. I'm 100% sure both of those
Monumentous.
are words. I'm just not certain.
I'm going to pause my recap and wait for you guys to Google whether this word exists as a word.
I thought you were just Googling. So I hadn't, monumental.
No, you can have momentous or monumental.
Yeah,
Oh.
it does come up on Wiktionary. Comparative more monumentous.
It's a portmanteau of monumental and momentous.
Yeah.
I will use it. I could not give a shit.
Go for it.
No, I loved it actually. Very inventive. Carry on. Go about your business.
We now join the party mere days after this monumentous event, where, after stealing an airship and fleeing south to the home of a friend, they were tasked with journeying to Gracia to maintain peace at the beginning of this new era. On the way there, they have taken a detour into the southern mountain path.
Taking a deer tour.
Yeah, detour into the southern mountain
For a wander
paths
around the woods to see any deer that happen to be there.
bordering the Empire to try and find a blood mage, rumoured to be able to lift the blood trace that they have on them, held by their enemy, the Inquisitor.
Dun, dun, dun.
The airship they now travel on, however, piloted by the disembodied spirit of a gold dragon they have befriended, needs to recharge between long journeys. And so it was that, floating in a mountain lake, waiting for the ship to recharge, they found themselves entranced by an eerie music emanating from caves high in the cliffs as a flock of harpies flew from them. Roll for initiative.
What?
This is where you ended, man.
I'm almost certain you made us roll for initiative last time. Are you saying that you've lost our initiative?
I am.
Fucking ridiculous.
No,
What
what
amateur
is it?
hour bullshit is this?
Oh my god, it's a good initiative. And I used one of the Kraken dice. You guys got me.
We got a roll for initiative by any chance?
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
got a roll for initiative. Yep. I got a decent initiative.
Excellent.
No, not bad.
Does anyone, Ian? You remember everything? Does anyone remember the name of the gold dragon? If anyone could give that to me, that'd be super cool. Because I can't remember her name.
Aura?
Or Aurora, Aurum. It's something to do with ore because it was gold. It meant gold.
Orbital.
I didn't write it down.
Ormen.
It's not like Aurelia, is it?
Aurelia?
It could be Aurelia.
Could be Aurelia.
Yeah, I think it is.
One of my favourite
Although,
characters with questionable content.
Good
Mhm.
start. I did not have a good initiative.
You don't need a good initiative. You're a paladin.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
You don't need to act first. What do you want to do that? You need,
Right,
you need
I
them to
need
get in
some-
close.
I need some slight recap information. Does the ship have cannons?
Monumentous ones.
The ship has two towards the front, pointing off the port and starboard side. You have two. They look like a cross between a cannon and a ballista, like a huge kind of crossbow. But where the arrow would go, you see like a metal cylinder carved with eldritch runes, some of which you understand, some of which are in a language you've never seen. The ones you can understand mean Big Bang, or something along those lines. But you know for a fact that these cannons do shoot, or you've been told at least that these cannons do shoot large green balls of eldritch energy.
Bro, you forgot about the two massive cannons on either side of the Reverend's head.
Ace.
Everyone here has a ticket to the gun show.
Ace.
I'm very excited.
Ace, what is your initiative?
Maybe I shouldn't go first?
I don't think you're gonna, based on the face you made when you rolled that dice.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Oh god, I missed this. Okay, so what's your
Hey,
total?
what do you add to that?
2.
3.
Excellent. Okay, so 3 dice.
Good stuff.
Those are some of the lowest numbers there are.
22.
22. Nice. Oriana.
19.
E.
Ooh. Hey, what's your deck, babe?
My dex is... I don't remember. What, my saving throw or the normal one?
Just
Regular
the
one,
bonus.
It's +0.
Cool.
So the
I
Reverend.
also rolled a 19.
19. Cool.
I just wanted to know if I get to go first or not.
Assume you do.
Yeah, it seems likely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there, just to quickly check with mine, can anyone hear like an echo or anything?
No.
Nope.
No.
Sweet.
Sounds
I
fine.
accidentally unplugged my headphones and now I can't plug them back in.
It's okay. I think Discord is actually pretty good at stopping the sound we make coming through your speaker.
Just
Yeah.
the,
I haven't used
just
headphones in a while.
his tiny little head in the bottom corner, like right at the bottom of the screen, staring.
So cute.
Easy.
Okay, I'm focused.
Okay.
I love that little bastard.
So, Battlecam. Big Book of Battlemats Volume 3, now available on lokibattlemats.com. But yes, we finally have our actual airship. So cool. And let's see who actually gets to go first. Dice. Wonderful. So, as you notice then, the eerie music begin to
Dice
emanate.
goes first, but they're definitely immune to lightning.
But as you notice the eerie music coming from the caves in the cliff high above, you see the 5 harpies begin to fly down towards the ship, screaming, angry, keening like birds of prey. I'd need you to roll me 5 wisdom saving throws.
Right.
You fucking what, mate?
I will roll it. I've got 5 different d20s here.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Oh. It's not bad.
Greg suddenly starts to have flashbacks of a different campaign we played.
No,
Okay.
not at all. I'm not afraid.
One was 19, one was 16, 2 of them were 13, and one of them was 20.
Very nice. The sounds or the music, the song emanating from the caves all at once starts to bombard you from many different directions. But it is not horrible. It is beautiful. It begins to lull you into a sense of comfort, a sense of joy. You feel the need to get closer to it. But maybe because you've come up against this kind of magic before, perhaps because it's trying to pull you in 5 different directions at once, instead of taking that step forward, instead of throwing yourself off the side of the ship into the water to begin to swim as fast as you can towards the wall, you steel yourself, and the music subsides. And instead of joyous song, you can now hear the cacophonous, discordant noise of 5 angry birds of prey just screaming at you.
Lovely.
What would you like to do?
As I'm going up to move, can I just yell, Aurelia, can you fire these guns? Bonjour.
A voice comes back in an instant. I cannot.
Balls. I'm going to attempt to fire the large gun.
Okay. So,
I can figure anything out. It'll be fine. I have a big brain.
use half your movement to get to the front of the ship. You can, right now, in front of you, see 4 out of the 5 targets. There is a large rock outcropping sticking up out of the lake that is hiding one of them. You can see 4 out of the 5 targets. What would you like to do?
Try and shoot the large gun.
Okay. It is not difficult, especially as an artificer. It is a very simple contraption to your eye. You aim it, level it at the closest one to you.
Sure.
Okay. Roll me a dex check.
Dex check, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I should probably just use one of my d20s instead of all 5 this time. Dex check. Okay.
You can, because of your class and your proficiency modifier, twice.
Oh, nice. Well, that's huge. Okay. 22, 20... hang on, 22, 23, 24.
And you also get a +5 to hit.
29.
Okay. So, it takes less than a second to charge up, and you do feel the recoil, which rocks you, as the cannon lets off a huge burst of eldritch energy, and a green ball of light flies from the cannon at light speed straight towards the harpy. It strikes them in the chest. Roll me 3d10.
Ooh. Okay. I can't remember what a d10 looks like.
The percentage ones.
Looks kind of like a fucked up D8.
It does, actually. It's not a bad description. 3d10. Okay. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
23.
Yes.
Okay, 23 points of damage. As the green ball bursts around the figure, they do fall slightly before their wings catch their weight again and just hold them just above the surface of the water. You can now see that where their exposed flesh that was not covered by feathers blackened and burnt. You can see part of their flesh now crisp and hanging off. Some of their feathers are singed, and they are barely holding it together.
Lovely. I assume I don't get a second shot at the same turn.
You need to reload with your attack action if you want to use it again on your next turn. Do you have 2 attacks per turn?
Yes.
You can, if you wish, then use your second attack to reload, as with most weapons with the reload feature.
Yeah, heck, that did a lot of damage. I will use my second attack to reload.
Use your second attack to reload. Cool. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
You can use your bonus action. Nothing?
I don't really have a great many bonus actions, dice. Not unless I want to vanish in a puff of fire. Which I don't see how that would help me much right now. Ooh, no, okay. What I will do is, as a bonus action, I would like to cast Shield of Faith on Oriana.
Okay. So as a
That's
bonus
plus
action.
2 bonus AC for the duration.
Plus 2
for
bonus
Oriana.
AC. Cool.
I fucked up.
How did you? How?
We've been playing for 15 minutes.
My initiative was actually 20. 7.
What?
I
How?
I can change it. I can change
misread
it
it.
mid. Okay, I can change
I
it
misread
mid
it.
battle.
It's fine. It's fine. You carry on. I'll go after dice. Nothing bad's happened. Just don't let any of the harpies go before me.
Cool. Is that the end of your go, Dice?
Yeah.
Okay. The Reverend.
Mm.
Cool. Before you do anything, please roll me 5 wisdom saving throws.
Yeah, I would love to actually. It's just what I was thinking. Like, wouldn't that be great? Rolling wisdom saving throws. How close am I to 8th?
As you were at the side of the ship having a conversation, I went back and watched the last episode to work out where everyone
believe you.
was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You are now...
That's too far. That's fine. I wanted to know if I was within 10 feet.
No,
That's
30 feet away.
very clearly not. Okay, cool. Here we go then. Do you just want to... shall I roll 5 and tell you the lowest number?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the lowest number. 5.
5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Oh, wait a second.
The gods are not with me today.
I'm indomitable,
which means...
which means I can re-roll a failed wisdom saving.
Excellent.
Okay, that one is my new lowest, and that is 15.
Sorry, it cut off the
single.
beginning then. How much?
So my new lowest is 30.
Okay, cool. Again, the same effect washes over you. You can feel the song pulling you towards the cliff, but you steel yourself with your indomitable nature and repel the song. And there are now, from what you can see, yeah, one is still hidden from you. They hid behind the rock. There are 4 visible targets.
Hey, how hidden are they? Because I have like a 24 passive perception.
You knew they went there, so you know they're behind that rock, unless they've decided to dive under the water. But apart from that, you cannot see them now to target them.
Yeah, as long as I'm like aware of them, you're not going to give them like sneak attack against me or some bullshit.
You absolutely know they're there.
Yeah, cool. Was there anything special about that one? Like, is there any reason for me to believe that one's more important than the others?
With your passive perception, no, they all look, well, differing in features as much as, 2 different humans would, 2 different Leonin, 2 different tieflings. Yeah. But apart from that, there is nothing about them. Not one of them's not wearing like this giant gemmed necklace saying "shoot me first" kind of thing.
It's not like one of them went behind a rock and that one was wearing a wide-brimmed hat with beverage denoting them as the leader.
Exactly.
Okay, cool, excellent. In that case, we prepared bad news.
We did.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to, we repaired. Did we repair that last session?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, then that being the case, the Reb has a powerful need to give bad news a try. So we'll do that. We will. Let's just pick one at random.
Not the same one that Dice shot, or.
Well, how is the one that Dice shot looking?
The one that Dice shot looks messed up. I was trying to remember my terms for it then.
Mill, do you remember how much damage you did to that one?
Yeah, 20...
23.
20.
Okay, I'm going to fire at that one.
Cool.
Let's focus fire. I like that.
Okay.
I will... So we're going to do a sharpshooter shot. So I'll be taking a -5 penalty to the hit roll to potentially add 10 to the damage.
Cool.
And yeah, no, I won't use that right now. Okay, yes, let's go. Okay, so that is... that's a 16 to hit.
A 16 does hit.
Excellent, good news. In that case, so it's going to be plus 10 damage for the... Sorry, I'm trying to remember all of my very many traits. I made a character with so many traits, and then we stopped playing for like 4 months, 5 months. I don't know. I'll use any of those. Not many. Yeah. Okay. Just roll the damage. The damage for this one is 2d12 plus 5. So that one's a 6 and a 5, so that's 11 plus 5 is 16 plus 10, 26 damage to him.
26 damage. You see, just after the Eldritch Blast, or the Eldritch Bolt, or ball, sorry, hits the Harpy, you see their attention fully turn towards Dice. And taking that second of their distraction just to get a good bead on them as they steel themselves to fly straight towards Dice and their huge ballista cannon. You see just out of the corner of their eye, they kind of look to turn at you as the bullet just takes them straight through the neck and they fall straight into the water, gone, completely removed from the fight.
Nice. Okay, I am going to use... So I have 2 attacks per action. I'm going to use the second attack to reload.
You're going to reload bad news. Okay.
I'm going to reload bad news. Then I'm going to use War Priest. When you use the attack action, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. You can use the feature 4 times per long rest.
Very cool.
I'm going to take another sharpshooter shot at the next buzzard down the line.
Cool.
Let me just read what this one thing does. After the roll, but before knowing the result. Okay, cool, good. Let's go. That is way more. That's 20 something.
Absolutely no problem at all. They have an AC of 11.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to be missing these guys then.
No.
Unless I misfire. Don't hubris, Greg. This time we're looking at... Oh, that's the same damage. So that's 17... 27.
27.
27 damage.
Very nice.
That one.
Okay.
And... I think... that's probably enough.
You can see this one now, after the second bullet strikes, you can see this one now begin to falter above the water. It's one remaining healthy wing still keeping it aloft, just as the other one kind of shakes as it tries to flap and barely keeps it out of the drink. Is that the end of your go?
Yeah. I might move across the deck to try and get a bit closer to Ace. Is that Ace standing just to the right of Dice?
Sorry, I apologise. I will point it out. Give me a second. Dice?
Hmm?
You?
Oh, that's Ace over there. Right.
Brianna? Ace.
Okay, yeah, no, in that case, I'm happy where I am.
Okay. You are about 30 feet away from Ace. You could get within 10 feet of Ace easily.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm just gonna duck down below the railing. Is it like a solid wall around the deck, or is it?
Absolutely, it's very much modelled after like a seagoing vessel. So it's got like maybe a half rail or a half wall in front of you. You can definitely duck down behind.
I'm probably like knelt already, so I can balance bad news on the rail for greater accuracy, and I'll just like.
Yeah, you would have from your perspective, you'd have like 3/4 cover.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. End you go.
That's the end of my go.
Nice one. Okay. Right. And it is now at least two of the Harpies' turn. The one that you just hit flies straight towards you then.
Oh no.
They roll the same initiative as us.
Greg's initiative was wrong, so when they corrected it...
Ah.
My initiative was actually 27.
Wow.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Which is wild.
I was very wrong about what my initiative was.
It's not just a bit wrong.
I looked at my character sheet and I saw a +2, and it's actually a +10. So that was
Just lost your mind for a second.
mildly possible. I had your character sheet open at the time.
Yeah, mine's +2.
Yeah, that's good. I've been trying to work out how the fuck I came up with +2 this entire time. So I'm glad that mystery's been solved.
Not being able to get then close enough to you to do any damage on its first round, it uses its full action to fly as fast as it can, just so it can get right next to you.
That seems like a mistake.
The second Harpy...
Gets sucked up into the engine and fucking explodes.
flies right up into Oriana's face, screaming as loudly as it possibly can. But again, it used its full action to get as close to you as it possibly could. So, Oriana, I need you to roll me 5 wisdom saving throws.
Sweet. Is it on a spell or magical effect?
Gotta be magical effect.
Gotta be a magical effect. Come on.
Gotta be a magical effect.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. I get advantage on all of them then.
Okay.
So, just roll 10 dice.
So that's...
No, you can't do that. You need to roll 5. Like, if you've got advantage, you need to roll 5 separate wisdom saving throws.
What? Yeah, I'm rolling 5 separate ones.
No,
Yeah.
you don't play me, don't worry.
That one was 21.
I was doing jokes.
How dare you? This is a serious student podcast. We don't joke around here.
It's 18 again.
What were our sponsors at Diet Pepsi?
Jesus Christ.
And 20.
Or it's fine.
Okay, so once more you feel the pull of the beautiful siren song from the caves just dissolve into discordant noise, and now there is one directly in front of you screaming their head off. What would you like to do?
Not it.
Depending on how much damage you think you can do, you've seen 2 of your friends now kill one with 2 attacks.
No, that's fine.
So-
I want to use Dominate Monster on it.
Alright.
Yeah, you fucking do.
I mean, it's a monster, right?
Yeah, it fucking is.
Okay. So you're
So I
gonna
need to
use the crown, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. Wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So,
I'm sure it's not a hard save, right? It's, that crown's only belongs to like the king of hell.
what's the save, Charlie? What's the DC?
16.
16. Okay.
Well, that's not as good as I thought it would be.
As you telepathically connect with the crown, the rest of you turn as you hear a whisper. All of you have heard the language before, well, a lot of you have heard the language before, and whenever Oriana has spoken Infernal. But this whispering is loud, but it is guttural. There is a definite masculine edge to it. And as you hear this whisper chant a spell, you see the eyes of the harpy completely glaze over, and they go black as night. What you see from Oriana, though, the crown, no longer invisible, enlarges. The spikes become huge, curved horns. In the middle of those spikes, a flame that flickers between red, gold, blue, green with almost black edges. And you see Oriana's skin turn from the very familiar purple to a deep scarlet blood red. It is at this moment that, apart from the one harpy that is currently completely devoid of motion, standing in front of standing in front of Oriana, the rest of them scream and almost begin to turn as if to move away from Oriana.
I can relate.
Is that the end of your go, Oriana?
Am I able to give it a command in the same turn?
Let's see.
Alright.
Dominate.
Griffin says yes.
It says no
Yeah, I don't
action
know if you heard.
required.
Yeah.
Issue a command to the creature while you are conscious. No action required.
Okay. What would you like it to do?
I want it to. I don't know how to word it. I want it to go attack the others.
Okay. You can literally say something as easy as attack that creature over there and point at the...
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Go fight them.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn? Movement and bonus action left?
I tell you what, I'll give bardic inspiration to someone who wants it.
The only person who hasn't gone yet is Ace.
I'll go bardic inspiration for Ace.
Very cool. Okay. Okay. So, at the end of Oriana's go, you see, out above the water, the 3 other harpies fly as far and as fast away from you as they can possibly get. They are up high in the air, unfortunately no longer on the battle map, but for all intents and purposes, with mostly range attacks, Dice and Reverend, you could probably still hit them. Okay, that is the end of their go. Bum, 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 bum. Ace. Having watched your friends up until this point steel themselves against the siren song, you ready yourself to do the same. But the song has changed. You no longer feel a pull from it. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be a very high insight check.
Okay.
I think the himbo vibes are definitely coming out for Ace today. Yeah, that is an 8.
An 8, okay. You can't... Again, you don't recognize, even from this far away, maybe the 5 voices overlapping is preventing you from... You don't recognize the wordings. You can't really take the exact meaning of the song now that it's changed. But you do kind of get... Maybe it's more sorrowful than the last one. There's maybe also an edge of fear to it. Maybe a franticness that wasn't there before. What would you like to do?
Well, my first instinct when they were sort of raiding at us was to do ready an ensnaring strike, but are they fleeing at the moment?
Most of them are fleeing. An ensnaring strike, you're not going to hit the 2 or the three that have just flown away because they're miles away.
No.
However,
Or is if they dived at me.
yeah,
But
the
likely.
two, the one standing in front of Oriana, you're pretty sure Oriana has now some power over it.
Yeah.
And knowing what you know, at least as much as you do about spells, being a well-travelled adventurer at this point, you know
Yeah.
probably don't hit the one that your friend has under their spell.
Yeah. In that
you-
case, what I might do is cast Moonbeam since it has 120 feet range. I think that's going to be my best
Okay.
range that I can offer.
Well, saying that, the ones that have flown away are probably outside of the range of you casting Moonbeam on them.
Okay.
There is one close standing next to the Reverend that's still on the deck of the ship. If you wanted to, you could definitely get to it with your movement.
There we go. I will go with that then. I will stick with my original plan of using an ensnaring strike on it so it can stay a bit more put.
Okay.
We're going to go second level on that.
Okay. Rush over, attempt to strike the Harpy.
I'm going to use a different D20 though, because that one's been not my friend. Ooh. Oh, this one isn't much either, to be honest. So, that is, with my hammer, plus 14, 9, so that is 23.
Definitely hit.
Yeah. There we go. And it is... So I do Thunderstrike's damage plus the damage for the attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So... Sorry, just preparing the D6s for the thing. Okay, so... For damage, that is... Just from Thunderstrike, it's 11.
Okay, but it's got to roll a strength saving throw, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then...
yeah, it fails. So it's definitely restrained by the magical vines.
Definitely restrained, and it's taken 11 so far, and then 2d6. So that is 6 damage off of that, so 17 in total.
Okay. So as Thunderstrike hammers down at the Harpy, it is taken from the air, and with the force you hit it, almost bounces off the deck back into the air. You can see it attempting to turn, not knowing which way safety lies, and is just trying to fly up at this moment before, an instant after you hit it, vines spring up from the deck of the ship, almost as if they've grown out of the wood itself, and just trap and wrap around the Harpy, dragging it back down to the deck of the boat. And as it does so, you can see the spikes from the vines start to pierce the Harpy's skin, and the Harpy stops struggling and dies on the deck.
That was a nice hit then. There we go. Happy with that.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I can't reach the other two, and the other close one is under a spell, so I don't want to touch that.
Okay.
I'll stick near Rev.
Cool. Back to the top of the round. Reverend.
Howdy. Well, I've got one all up in my biz now.
No, that one is the one that. Sorry, I apologise. That one is the one that Ace just killed.
Oh, it's dead. That one's dead.
It did a big dive.
Right now, you can see the one obviously standing in front of Oriana, obviously spelled by Oriana, just standing there swaying gently. And you can see 3 more flying back towards their caves high up in the cliff. They are currently maybe between 120 and 150 feet away from you.
I will reload. I'll reload bad news.
Mm-hmm.
and then I will start cleaning the barrel and sort of doing some checks to make sure that it's held up to being fired twice after being repaired so very recently. I'm not gonna attack them as they're fleeing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sort of take 2 steps away from Oriana, like towards Dice, just to keep an eye on that situation. But I'm like cautiously standing down. You know?
Cool. Okay. Turning your attention then towards the one in front of Oriana, just in case they break the spell.
Yeah, I'd say I'm keeping an equal amount of eye on the Harpy and on Oriana.
Okay.
Because of what just happened with that crown. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I've seen that before.
The Reverend, out of all of you, the Reverend has not seen this crown and was not aware Oriana was wearing it.
Yeah. So he's gonna sort of give Oriana a concerned / quizzical look. He doesn't say anything.
Okay.
Busies himself with the gun.
Cool. Dice?
Ori, do you want us to kill this?
No, this is fine.
For how long?
An hour.
Okay.
And then...
It'll be gone.
Okay. I too will stare at the Harpy.
Okay. As you just stare at the Harpy then, looking towards the cliffs, seeing that nothing else seems to be attacking you, you find yourselves now out of initiative. For all intents and purposes, well, at least for now, you believe that the danger has passed. As you look at the Harpy then, you can still hear the song coming from the cliffs, far away, though it is quieter. But it does still seem to have that same... It changed from enchanting to sorrowful. And that is continuing. They do not seem to be trying to enchant you again.
Do you think they're mourning?
Probably.
Everyone apart from Ace, roll me an insight check.
I can't have lost the D20s and covered them in D10s. Oh.
23.
So what was that 18, 23, and...
15.
Oh, 15, sorry. 15,
Yeah.
23.
19.
19. Okay. The rest of you then, as you take a moment to listen to the song, it is not just sorrowful, there is an edge of fear to it. But even with the overlapping voices, your inability to understand the exact words being said, there is a sense of guilt. Not professing your guilt, but almost as if they're sorry. Taking what you know from what happened, they seem to be sorry because of what Oriana did. Because of what Oriana showed them.
Oh.
I drop Dominate Monster on it.
Okay. You can just choose to end the spell. And as you do so, the flame flickering between the spires of your crown doesn't disappear this time, but it does get smaller. As you see the inky blackness disappear from the eyes of the Harpy, you are still bright red. But as you look down, Oriana, from at least your senses, you seem to have grown like a foot taller.
Oh God.
7 foot tall?
I'm not 7 foot tall.
And you're, up until this point, not very well manicured nails, because there's not many places on your adventures that you've been able to get a mani-pedi up until this point. You are now looking at your
that's Ori's
hands.
thing.
You are now looking at your hands, and instead of fingers and nails, you are seeing cruel claws.
Gonna take some filing.
The harpy, once the spell finally drops, takes one look at you and kneels awkwardly on the ground. You can see this is something they do not often do. The way the makeup of their legs and their body and their wings, not really allowing this kind of motion naturally, but they do profess themselves, or prostrate themselves, on the floor below you, and kind of just touch their forehead to the deck.
Okay. I'll sort of crouch down and pat it on the head. And I want to put my hand under their chin then and make them look at me. So tilt their head up to look at me.
They do very...
Gonna be like,
They do very quickly, like as if they do not want to, disobey you. They very quickly follow your motions, but their eyes don't quite meet yours as they look up, and you can see the fear in them, and the tears start to roll down their cheeks.
Do I know what language they speak? Or is it just a beast?
The language of the song they were singing was alien to you,
Yeah.
but you have not heard any of them speak yet.
I'm gonna ask it its name. What's your name?
Broken Feather.
Okay, Broken Feather. These are your sisters?
And she kind of looks to the side at the one dead harpy on the deck. They were.
Why did you attack us?
Hungry.
What do you eat?
And she kind of looks at, not you this time, but your friends.
I go, no.
And she kind of just gestures to the people.
Okay. If I feed you, will you leave?
If you tell me to leave, I will leave. I did not know one of you was here.
Okay. Then leave. And don't come back.
And she gets up and, as quickly as she possibly can, spreads her wings and takes flight up off the deck of the ship towards the cliff caves.
And I call after her, take up fishing.
As you say that, you do remember obviously taking a swim with water breathing under the water, remembering that there are no fish in this lake.
Then move.
Go to sleep. Right, well, we think this is a lasting effect.
Honestly, who knows? You look good, Red. But I think you looked better purple.
I like the red. The height's going to take a thing to get used to. Not so sure about the claws.
I don't know. Hang on. I'm going to go and give Oriana a hug and be like, still good.
Thank you.
As you hug
You still-
Oriana,
God, it's going to eat me. Yes.
You do feel a shift in your arms. And as you look back at them, the crown is once more invisible. Oriana is a normal height. And is also purple.
Oh, so just
Good for that.
just needed a dice hug.
Well, now I know what happens when I do that.
Yeah, that was interesting, huh?
Rev, are you okay? You look a little...
Yeah, looking a
That.
bit green around the gills there.
A little surprised. Didn't know Ariana here was a shape changer. Pretty imposing form you took on.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen. Not so much a shape changer, I guess.
Demon
to do with the
princess?
crown. Possibly something to do with that as well.
Demonic, say.
Well, I am a tiefling.
I've known tieflings. Most
No.
that I've known have been primarily of this world.
Yeah,
You
you've known
seem to have a
tieflings.
slightly more of a connection.
Yeah, that might be the royal lineage. Either way, I now know what happens if I cast that spell using this crown.
Pardon
And I
my
think it was the
impropriety.
same-
I didn't know. Should I be calling you Your Highness?
No.
Yes.
Let's just say I'm not on good terms with my grandparents
Or your brother.
or my brother. My
Mighty,
parents are dead, so.
mighty sorry for your family troubles.
Oh, it's quite all right. Until recently, I didn't realize I had one.
A family?
Yeah. I was raised by a gnome.
I sit there looking mildly offended in the corner.
Yeah, both of us
Well.
are just.
A blood family dice.
I suppose we're all making discoveries then.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be any good as an actual ruler.
No, it's I'm glad to hear that. Not something I'm not necessarily that courtly in my manners.
We'll see if the power goes to my head. And then I go and try and find something to drink.
Your Highness, would you like a glass of wine? Can I get you something, Your Highness? I'm just going to follow Oriana down the boat, being mildly abusive.
One of the gnomes pops up from below decks at this point. There's just one of the hatches in the middle of the deck and just kind of looks around. Did we pick up royalty at some point? Did you not tell it? We could clean. We can like tidy you up if you wish.
Did you not know that you were in the presence of Her Royal Highness, Queen Oriana of all demonkind?
Oh, okay. First of all, it would be Princess, because I have not quite dethroned Osmodius just yet.
Sorry, Princess Oriana,
Oh, her.
future ruler of all demonkind.
I don't think I have.
And he just goes back down and closes the hatch behind him.
Nobody takes me seriously.
Any accommodation.
I think I'll go see what he's up to, and I follow him down into the hatch.
Okay.
Gnome. I think that's one thing I always learned is don't follow a gnome to find out what they're up to.
They'll be drinking. Okay.
Is the harpy just on the deck?
No, the
No,
harpy
no,
has flown away as fast as they possibly
No, I
could.
mean the dead one.
Yes,
Oh,
there
yeah.
is a dead harpy on the deck.
Would it be improper to huck it overboard?
No,
I know you said chuck it overboard.
No, I said huck.
Huck.
Right.
no. You
That's
said
still better than
chuck
what
it
my brain heard, which was cuck it.
Oh, that's worse.
It's like you can't do that to something that's dead.
Dead cock.
The dead can't be cooked.
The worst kind of cock.
I need different friends.
You see that the harpies have sunk away. You don't know whether it's because they're scared or not, but the other Harpies don't seem to be returning for the corpse. They're not. They don't seem to care about the ones that have sunk below the surface of the water.
So a water burial's better than rotting on the deck.
Okay. You're gonna huck it over.
Yeah, but with some dignity.
Okay. And as it
Yes,
splashes,
you don't need a strength check.
You don't need a strength check. As you attempt to pick them up, their size, they're impossibly light for their size. Almost as if they are made of the hollow bones of birds, and you just kind of toss them over. There is a small splash, and they do sink slowly into the... And as you see, it is a clear mountain water, impossibly clear, and only until they are very, very distant does the darkness below take them. But yeah. Reverend, as you've followed the gnome down the hatch, you do find this is quite quick access to a storage room that is almost directly by the kitchen.
Okay.
You would imagine that this hatch, when the airship is berthed, would be used for loading and unloading of, cargo.
I didn't know airships got berthed. I thought people built airships. I didn't realise that the airship had a mommy.
You learn something new every day, eh?
Yeah.
A mommy ship and a daddy ship get together.
When
They love each other very much.
when a ship is in port, ships have a berth.
I assumed they were egg layers.
Wonder how much risk they are for needing an appeasy off and another tea.
And a daddy plane love each other very much.
How many stitches
Yeah,
would you need after birthing a ship?
DM, where do airships come from? Have you missed
talking
us?
shit about you.
Gnome slave labor. That's where airships come from. Okay.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Dark.
Yeah.
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 But thematically correct.
Yes. That's what you get. But yes.
Actually, the gnomes are like house elves in Harry Potter, in that they like being enslaved because that's convenient to the liberal. Nothing should ever change. Status quo loving political ideals of the author, right?
Well, it's definitely applicable to the elves.
One of the very rare times that this doesn't actually this isn't directed at my players, but yeah, fuck you.
How dare you?
I said
to,
isn't directed at my players.
How dare you speak to me in this way?
I wasn't. I was directing it as you should not be named.
How dare you attack me personally for no reason?
But yes, as you walk into the kitchen, then following the gnomes, you do find them preparing food. They seem to be preparing quite a lot of food, maybe for the rest of you. But it appears that at least for these gnomes, the preparation of food also includes quite a lot of drinking.
They always cook with wine. Sometimes they put it in the food.
Yeah, it's like coq au vin. Small dash of white wine for the meal, large swig of white wine for myself. Yes.
Some for you, some for me.
It's how I make spag bol from like scratch. Is small dash of red wine. Glug, 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 glug. But yes, is there anything you would like to do in particular, or?
Oh no, I'm hiding. I came down here to hide. I thought that was obvious.
Okay.
I literally just wanted to get out of the awkward social situation. The Reverend is not used to people.
Okay. As the rest, sorry.
Sorry.
What was Ace? What's Ace going to do?
Ace is probably going to take some time to do like a very small, like, I don't know, funerary thought to themselves for the Harpy.
Okay.
That they just chucked overboard, and then probably go to rest.
Yeah, what was it? The evening we settled down here?
No, this is midday.
Midday.
However, as a reminder, then, and just the progression of what's happening right now, As time passes then and you rest, a meal is laid out in the dining room. There's no coal, but you can smell the food. The smell of food is permeating around the boat, so you're aware that it's been laid out for you. Those near the deck, you do begin to hear rolling thunder happening quite often. There's no real distance. The storm that you saw on the horizon, high up in the mountains, almost hovering over, from what you could tell of the map, your destination, does appear to still be growing. It is not moving, it is just growing. It is getting wider and wider.
Did it look like a natural storm?
It did not.
Yeah, I remember.
Into that then, or do you think
Well,
we can get above it?
Maybe, but then we'd have to come down through it.
Or just go over? Oh no, it's over where we need to go, isn't it?
For the... Is it... Sorry, just because it's been a while, is
Yep.
it where the witches or where the Warforged are?
Which?
Thank you.
Which
we need to get
Warforged?
this... Which Warforged what? We need to get this blood trace taken off us.
Yeah, we do.
We could get close and walk the rest of the way.
In a storm?
Sure.
We could probably go and find out what's causing the storm. I mean, if it's over the destination where we need to go, then whoever's causing it is probably there. It could be the witch.
Several of us can now fly, so if we get the airship above the storm and ask Aurelia to stay there, maintaining height, then
Free bomb diving through it.
yeah, and we work out what to do with Ace and the Reverend thereafter.
I mean, Ace looks like he's highly conductible.
So am I.
Roll me a nature check. Whoever's discussing the storm.
Both of us. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. 17.
Okay.
21.
21.
All right, smart ass.
As both of you think about it then, the storm cloud from what you saw does go quite high up. It would take probably a good while, maybe until nighttime, knowing the speed of the ship, to get above and then over maybe the centre of the storm. However, you are pretty certain then if this storm remains as it is, completely unmoving, then the eye of the storm, directly in the centre of it, probably your destination, would be relatively calm.
Good point. It's a good point, my brain.
Over the top and down through the eye.
That makes perfect sense. I'm so glad we thought of that.
Ooh.
We are geniuses. Aurelia, could you do that, do you think?
I could make my way above the storm. Would you like me to descend then, or again stay while you descend?
I think it would make sense for you to come down with us. How much more rest do you need before we can go?
I am done.
Fantastic. Oriana, are we good to go, do we think? We can eat on the way and then...
Yeah, it's going to take time to get up there, so might as well relax on the way up.
If that's okay with you, Aurelia, we would appreciate it.
Even before you finish asking the question, you feel the swell of the water beneath you as the ship, for a moment, drops a couple of feet. And then, using the pressure of the water around it, bounces from the surface and takes flight. Again, not being able to go straight forward, as the cliffs around it are quite close in. It begins to spiral in ascent, far, far up into the air. And now the rolling thunder gets louder and much more present as you see out of the windows of the ship this dark cloud. And the lightning strikes in the distance are white, blue. And the closer to the centre, or the further into the storm it gets, red. And as you fly up, 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 you know from experience, outside of the protective bubble of the ship, you would probably find yourself struggling to breathe. However, now, the further up you get, the elemental protection surrounding you, the trapped air elemental providing you with oxygen, the fire elemental providing you with the warmth, you are comfortable, at least. It takes a while, maybe a few hours. It's a long wait until eventually, finally, below you, a long carpet of unbroken, rolling black cloud. But eventually you do see off in the distance, there seems to be a pocket. And the closer and closer you get, the wider this pocket gets, until it's maybe a few 100 feet across, almost a perfect circle. And you see the black cloud roiling around it. And then all at once you are above the eye of the storm. But below you, all you can see is in darkness and shadow. As the fact that the sun is sinking below the horizon now, and the clouds blocking out most of the light anyway, everything below you is in shadow.
It's going to be delightful when we get down there.
Yeah, I'd love to see the chaos this has caused.
Mm-hmm. Should we tell the Rev and Ace what we're doing?
Probably. You tell Ace, I'll go tell the Rev.
Okie dokie. I will wander off to find Ace,
I'll go
who I
find
can
the
only
Rev.
assume at this point is polishing their armor.
They're in the
I'm going to go to where I last saw the Rev go to find him.
Okay. Knowing more about the ship than the Reverend, you're pretty certain that you know where that hatch is going to come out downstairs. Reverend, where have you gone over the last couple of hours? Are you still hiding around the storeroom or the kitchen, or have you gone to your room? Where have you gone?
I reckon the Reverend just found like a little, a place to tuck himself out of the way.
Okay.
Where he wasn't bothering anyone. He might be cramped into a little corner a bit because he's quite large and probably not in a huge space.
Okay.
So he's like, maybe he's sitting on like a really tiny box and his knees are up under his chin.
Are
He's,
you
like, visibly
hiding?
Sorry?
Are you hiding?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, definitely not hiding. Just staying out of the way.
Pretending you don't exist.
There's little space.
Because he thinks maybe he's made an idiot of himself.
Okay.
And he's just like maybe a tiny bit embarrassed.
Okay.
He said something silly in front of two pretty ladies and a pretty person. and now he's just like, I'm just gonna hang out down here for a little while and collect myself.
Okay. Seeing as you're not hiding then, it doesn't take you long, Oriana, to find the correct part of the storage room. And as you walk through, you do see the Reverend there, sitting on the smallest box in the corner, being as unobtrusive as possible.
Hey, Rev.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah, no problems here. You?
Yeah, fine. I just thought I'd let you know that we're making our way above the storm, and then we're going to go down through the eye of the storm. Should be calm.
Okay.
It's
Is
getting
that,
pretty intense out there, though.
Is that wise, do we think? Storms can shift kind of unexpectedly, I've heard.
Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on it.
Knowing what you know about storms and how quickly they do normally shift, you've been studying this, obviously, Oriana. It has taken you maybe 3 hours to just get over, just travel over the top of the storm. It took you about 3 hours to get to the top, and then another few hours to get over the storm into the center, because that's how big it was.
Yeah.
It has not moved.
It's doesn't seem to be behaving like a normal storm.
No.
Doesn't seem to be naturally occurring. Hey, buddy, chill out.
Your badger's being a little fussy, I see.
Yeah, it's he doesn't like the storms.
Can't say as I do either. The static makes my main stand on end.
Anyway, you didn't have to run off earlier, by the way.
Oh, I'm not just having a little sit down here and watching the
Okay, that's
watching
fine.
the world go by.
That's fine too. But you know you're more than welcome to hang out with us, right?
Oh, well, that's mighty kind of you.
I'll leave you. Oh, by the way, the whole thing with me changing earlier, like I said, that's new. I'm still learning a lot about me, the crown. So, we're all just as awkward about it sometimes.
Yeah, no,
What's that thunder?
I understand. Well, I don't know that I understand. I just I hope I didn't give any offense with
No.
that Your Highness business.
Not at all.
I didn't mean to mock or anything.
No. And anyway, I'm sure you've seen the way Dice and I treat each other. It's all in good nature.
Yeah, your friend Dice seemed mighty amused.
Yes.
I just hope I wasn't unwittingly being involved in something mean-spirited.
Not at all. I would tell you if it was making me uncomfortable in any way.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's not a problem. I'll give you a shout when we're making our way down through the eye.
All right.
Aye, and I'm gonna head to my room.
Okay. Dice, you find Ace eventually polishing their armor.
We're gonna knock on the door.
Come in.
Hi, is your armor shiny?
As always.
Of course. You know the big storm outside that's not really moving like a normal storm?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Thor's working.
Mm-mm. I really don't think so. There's also red lightning in it, which is a little spooky.
Not on brand.
But we've seen some weird shit, so, it could be.
Yeah.
This is what happens when Thor's really pissed off.
Closer to where we think he is, so...
Maybe. I think it's more likely to do with the blood witch. Blood magic witch. Blood person.
Yeah, that's my thinking too.
What me and Oriana thought might be best, in discussion with Aurelia, is to go above the storm, which is where we are now, and then come down through the eye.
Yeah, that'll be the calmest spot.
Yep, and then it'll be dark when we get there, though, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah. I've still got my goggles, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah. Ace will just start rummaging through their belongings, being like, when was the last time I used these?
Put out slightly dusty and smeared. Yeah. I got him. I think. Do you think the Reverend is going to settle down eventually? He seems so nervous all the time. He's very gentle and soft, and I'm worried we're going to be.
Yeah, he's
railroading him.
A lot softer than his exterior gives off. But
right?
Yeah.
He's so gentle.
But I'm used to people like that. Like you saw Pa. So.
Big, rough, gruff. Yeah.
But a big soft inside.
Well, maybe. We don't know him that well. Maybe he's actually a secret serial killer. Oh, no, wait.
Too soon.
You don't know.
I don't know. You're right, I don't know. But also, we had suspicions by the end.
Also, sepsis was,
Was what? You don't know?
That was too.
Nobody knows anything.
I do.
You know, yeah, that's fair.
Right.
and anyone, all of the people in chat do.
Hang on. Maybe
Hey, chat,
they're
you don't know shit.
maybe they're secretly reading a book that's going to summon a giant, angry celestial that's going to murder us all.
I mean,
That I do know, Greg.
Look, I didn't say anything.
As we know, anything is possible. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just hope that there's. I hope Quill's okay too.
Yeah. I think he seemed okay.
He seemed really stressed about what he did, and I think it was all to the good in the end. But I miss him.
Friend Dice. You hear a voice in your head.
Yeah, I just go stop him. Yes.
We are directly over the center of the storm. Would you like me to descend?
Wait 2 seconds. Let me come and see if I can. I doubt I'll be able to see a damn thing, but I'll try. 1 second. And I'm going to go and stand on the deck and see if I can see anything down through the eye. I very much doubt it, but it's worth a shot before I have Aurelia descend into it. Do you want to come?
Sure.
Let's go stand in the rain.
I'm going to be looking out my bedroom window.
Oh. Yeah, I'll go stand on the deck then with Ace.
Friend Dice.
Aurelia?
If you wish us to, or wish me and the elementals to light our path and see if you can see anything, we are about 300 feet above the ground. The fire elemental has enough energy left before we land and recharge to cast a fireball straight down, if you wish.
Probably not, just in case there is the blood witch we're looking for down there and then we set fire to her. I just think it would be very...
It would be a great introduction to someone that we want to help us.
No fireball?
Probably not on this occasion, but we will save that information for later because I love it.
Very well.
That's an extremely exciting. I'm so excited that Aurelia had that instinct of just like flinging a. This is a great thing to discover about Aurelia.
Throw a giant fireball down there and be like,
Very Oriana way of doing things.
Aurelia's the kind of dragon who thinks like, oh, I can't see down there. Massive explosion, that'll help. Hey, and anything that massive explosion destroys probably wasn't that important. Otherwise, someone would have made it strong enough to withstand the massive explosion.
Aurelia, how long will it take us to descend through the eye?
Not long.
In which case, if Ace and I stand on the deck and you start descending, then we can keep an eye out as we go down.
Okay.
It's probably best. Because we're not going to see a damn thing from up here anyway.
And the ship then begins to descend into the void in the storm. You can see then the thunder, the lightning flashing, crashing around you. Until eventually you look above then, and the safe haven of calm weather above this eye is lost in a circle that begins to get smaller and smaller as you descend into the darkness.
Sorry, a second. How long did you say it took to get here?
In total, to get above the storm and then over the storm into the center of it, because of how big the storm was, took about 6 hours.
Okay,
It is now early evening.
With the exception of that short chat I had with Oriana, could we say that I was reading the manual quickness of action for that time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
There was literally nothing else you could be doing in that 6 hours, so yeah, cool, go for it.
That's what I figured, yeah.
No worries, that's fine. But as you descend then into the storm, into the darkness below, we're going to take a break. Because it's just gone 9 o'clock, and I think it is a good time for a break and to go to the toilet, and I'm pretty sure this is when we used to do that anyway, around about.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So,
I'm
yes.
hoping I can put little man down in his co-sleeper now.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
He is Barco.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, you sweetie boy.
But yes, I'm glad he joined us and was all like happy and was here for part one.
Here in the second half, we'll see. He's staying asleep while I'm talking now, so.
Yeah.
I like this thing, but I like this thing where like he's playing honey, so anything he's doing
Yeah.
You
It's
have to
just
talk
Honey
to
doing
that
it.
Oriana being it to Honey in character. I'm going to stick with that, I think.
I'm totally on board with this. It's super
Can't
cute,
wait.
and it makes
Very
us
good.
remember that Honey's there.
But
I
also,
can't wait
also
until
now,
Honey throws up on you.
also now, Honey has to survive obviously everything. Even
Yeah.
if Oriana dies, I can't kill Honey, right?
No.
Honey's a fey creature, like an archfey that just decided to hang out with Oriana for no good
Mhm.
reason.
I knew it.
The sky.
Oh, for very good reasons. Oriana's charming.
Yes. But yes, please join us in about 10 to 15 minutes. We will be right back for part 2 of the long-awaited episode 87 of the Chronicles of Nidum. But yes, please do not go anywhere. See you in a bit.
Aye.
Bye.
How do I do this again?
All right.
There we go. Break time. Yes. Bye-bye. See you in a bit. Hello! Yes, we're back for part 2 of episode 87 of the Chronicles of Nidum.
Brought to you by Diet Pepsi.
No.
Diet Pepsi, it is certainly a drink.
But actually brought to you by Lucky Battlemats, Blink Dog Dice, and the wonderful Sirenscape. So yes, where we left off, you were descending into the Eye of the Storm,
It's of hell. Yes, correct.
which is, I think, now what the episode's going to be called. But yes, Dice, you are on deck. Oriana, you are watching from out of the window.
Am I next in the initiative order? Dice on deck.
I'm gonna make my way up onto the deck as I feel us starting to go.
Okay. So then both of you then, as you join Dice on deck, I'd like you to make me a perception check, please.
Yay!
I probably, when I notice the ship start
Do
to...
I need to because I'm on deck, or am I okay?
Yeah, no, if you're on deck as well, Ace, sorry, yeah, and you're going to go up as well, Reverend.
Yeah, when I feel the ship start to descend, I'll probably come up
I
and...
did also say I would tell the rev, so I could say on the way past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
15.
all of you, then. 15 from Oriana.
And you want me to actually roll it instead of just telling me what's going on because of the huge number that I have.
Well,
Rude.
yeah, it's your active or your passive. We'll take, if you can get higher, it's up to you.
Are we perceiving based on sight here?
Yes, sight.
Cool, because I have advantage on that. I still only rolled a 16.
So 24 is what we're going with for you.
Yeah, I would rather use.
That's fine.
That's chill.
7.
What's your passive, Dice?
Not that. 16.
16. Ace?
I rolled a 12 altogether, but
Perception.
I'm trying to figure out what my passive is. My passive is 10, so yeah, it's still...
Yeah, 12. Okay, cool. Right. So, Ace.
My passive is 15.
Okay, okay. For all of you then, as you descend, the darkness is almost complete, apart from the irregular flashes of lightning you see around you, that come in no discernible pattern. You do see nothing but darkness below. As you continue to descend, though, you've passed maybe 100 feet. It's difficult to tell, as all that is around you is the roiling clouds. Reverend, you begin to see lights twinkling below.
Right.
And the further and further down you go, the lights enlarge. Some of them are almost constant sources of light that kind of eventually coalesce into what you believe to be light shining from windows. You can see them at regular intervals and just static small beams of light. You can see then a couple, and as you notice or try and work out the pattern of the lights as they twinkle, you believe them to be campfires or maybe a bonfire. And the further and further into the darkness you descend, you can't really see the outline of the buildings yet, but you do kind of, just from where the lights are shining from inside windows, you can work out a small settlement. Maybe 4 or 5 buildings, some quite large, like what you've seen from large barns or longhouses. A couple of smaller then, maybe residences. But they all seem to then ring this large bonfire in the centre, which is burning low. It is not, stacked with wood causing a roaring blaze. It is a low burn.
Did we know to expect like a settlement, or were we expecting like
you knew there was a witch,
yeah,
or a blood mage living in the mountains, but no one had really talked about
where she lived,
how she lived.
Right. Okay. I will. I mean, of course, I'll point out this to my companions.
You reckon at the bottom of this eye of the storm, it is almost a perfect circle, almost too perfect. So lending more strength to the theory that this storm is definitely magical in nature. But the circle itself at the bottom of the eye of the storm is maybe 400 to 500 feet in diameter. And as you descend, you notice then off to one side, behind maybe one of the largest buildings, there is a large open area that is completely clear. There's nothing there. It does not even look like it's farmed land. You can see small plots around the other small residences and some of the other longhouses. There is a large area around here that is just completely barren land. But the closer and closer you get to the ground, you start to pick out more details. And the more of you, the rest of you do too. It is surprising to you that this high up in the mountains, there is plentiful plant life. But surrounding most of these residences are gardens, hedgerows. There are trees in most of the gardens. There is what appears to be lines of trees off to the north that look like a small orchard. But these are not trees that you would ever wish to pick fruit from. The closer and closer you get to the ground, the more gnarled, the more blackened and decayed the trees look. Some of the trees, in fact, look as if they have lines of fire running up them, as if they are slowly smouldering from the inside. One of the trees where you expect to see fruit, you see large globes that appear to drip like an inky black oil that hits the ground, and for a moment you think there's a hiss and a spurt of like steam as the liquid hits the ground.
Delightful.
The grass around you appears to be moving, not swept by wind, but it appears to be beating rhythmically. However,
I don't love that, what you just said.
None of it.
all of you, the further and further you descend, experience a familiar sensation of a strange nostalgia from your childhood. Perhaps one of the first times you as a child found that special place in the forest or that special place on the plains that was so connected to nature that you couldn't explain it to yourself with your childlike mind, but it just seemed perfect, serene, beautiful. The power of nature filled it and pleased you. And you seem to get that strange sensation. It reminds you of that first perfect clearing in the woods, that first perfect tree you could imagine building a tree house on, that first perfect rolling hills on the plains when you, Reverend, as a young boy, felt like you could run forever. And eventually, you are maybe 50 feet above the ground. You don't see anyone walking around any of the buildings. It is low light, it is dim light, you'd expect that unless they're hiding, you could quite easily make out people wandering around the buildings, but no signs of life other than the fire burning and the lights coming from the windows of those buildings. What would you like to do? Where would you like to land?
You want me to go down and have a look around first?
I don't think you should go down alone, Ori.
Do you want to come with me? You can also fly now.
Sure. Okay. We will go and have a look. If
So
we die...
you're gonna leave the ship in the air?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're gonna go, the two of you are gonna go down.
Yeah. I
Yes.
just step up on the edge and then drop off the side.
Okay.
And I will do the same.
Okay. As you descend then, as I said, there are two what look like large barn or storage facilities. Not many lights coming from the windows of those, a couple. Like you can see a source of light shining out from the windows at the front and at the back. There are three smaller what look like residences, no lights coming from them. There is a large bonfire in the middle that looks as if it needs tending. Like it will go out if it doesn't, if it isn't fed in another hour, it's just going to go out. However, the longhouse, which has windows then that shine light, just a dim light, maybe 15 feet out, creating pockets of light away from the building, is maybe 50 feet long, maybe 60 feet long, maybe 30 feet wide. And it has maybe 10 windows on each side. You can see the light coming from it. You can also then see two large doors on the front that are slightly, one of them is slightly ajar, and there is light shining out from the inside.
Do we knock on the door?
Yeah, sure. It's best bet. We want to seem friendly. Obviously, whoever's here wanted to keep people out.
That's my concern. And I'm going to go over then, and the door that's ajar with the light shining out. I'm just going to knock on the door and go, hello.
As you land on the ground then, there is a shift in the grass as it seems to attempt to stroke the bottom of your feet. And you can see a kind of, not blackness, but the rainbow effect of oil being left on your boots as you pass, glistening in the source of light you're approaching. You also smell, this is very familiar to you, Oriana, brimstone, sulfur, ash.
This is
Super creepy, right?
well, a little bit comforting for me, but yeah.
No, you're not creepy. This is definitely creepy. I'm still going to knock on the door and go, hello?
Roll me a perception check.
Both of us, or just dice?
Both of you as you're approaching the door.
I was at 1.
My last one was a 7. This one is a 26.
Okay.
Nice.
3.
I can see through walls.
I'm too busy sniffing the air.
Oriana, then distracted by the strange but familiar sensations and also just possibly shocked by the fact that the last time you saw these peaks, they were capped with snow. And you're pretty sure you're at one of the highest points now. It is not cold. There is no snow or frost anywhere around you. And the air is thick with oxygen, which it should not be at this height. But Dice, as you knock on the door with your small hello, you're pretty sure no one's going to answer you. Because as the door kind of opens slightly on soundless hinges, recently oiled, there is a, not heated, but a loud debate going on inside.
Can I listen to what's being said?
Absolutely.
How many people are there? Would you describe this as a mass debate?
Oh.
I've missed
Charlie's sad noise was amazing there. It was just...
I've missed this so much.
I'm married to this.
Greg makes a pun, Charlie makes a sad noise. I've missed this. But yes, as the door does open most likely, then the sound then hits you. The first full sentence that is not muffled that you hear is, I do not care what it is that you desire. I have told you already. You can come to me for a favour. If I can grant it, I will, in exchange for one of yours. However, this I will not do.
Do we recognise the voice?
Yeah.
You've never heard this voice before. You hear the response. I have not asked if you will do it. I am only asking, can you? Send me. I have little else left. If you can get me there, to her, I can bring us back.
I'm gonna knock the door harder.
Yeah, I'm fully good. Hello? Bonjour.
My response to what you have just said, unfortunately, will have to wait. I believe we have company. Enter, if you wish.
Oh, sorry to intrude and push the door slightly open.
As you
Hello,
open the
sorry
door, then,
for interrupting.
as the door is opened, it is a quite comfortable, familiar sight to you. It is, or the room itself is very warm. There is a very long, smouldering fire that stretches from maybe 10 feet inside the door all the way up the center of the room. Over the smouldering coals, you see a couple of empty spits. There are not currently any animals on them being turned or tended to, but there are then two long tables up each side of the fire. There are more private tables then off to the sides of the room. There is a long table then almost at a T-shape to the fire itself at the head of the room. Instead of benches, there are larger chairs there. There is currently no one sitting in any of the chairs. However, there are two gentlemen sitting on either side of the fire. One is sitting, one is standing. The one standing is gesturing towards the door. He has a smile on his face. He's maybe 6'4", 6'5", very tall. You can see below his black leather trousers, his open white shirt. You can see one long, silver chain that has been wrapped around his neck a couple of times that he's toying with the other hand. One of them gesturing towards you. The other then, he has a shock of black hair that he just... It looks very messy. But also from the smile and grin and the twinkle in his eye, you feel as if he's purposely messed up his hair. But you can see a muscular figure beneath it. This very, very handsome man looking at you. Opposite him, sitting down, just watching the fire instead of what's going on, is an older gentleman. It's quite difficult to tell how old. Anywhere from maybe late 30s to early 60s, depending on how the light hits him. There is grey, almost silver to his hair. And sometimes when the light hits it, you can see a kind of metallic glint to it. But he's currently there, sitting there. He looks like he's wearing a large coat too big for him. Or maybe once upon a time it was big enough for him and he did fill it out, but age or time has kind of made him sink in upon himself, so now it looks like it's slightly too big for him. The coat itself, it's obvious to you that it was once beautiful, regal. You can see gold, silver, platinum threads weaving through it. But now, at the sleeves, you can see it is quite threadbare. You do see patterned, then, on this beautiful coat. The only thing that doesn't appear to be patched and worn is 6 stunningly detailed, almost lifelike canaries on the jacket, and he pays you no attention whatsoever. But as you walk in...
Is he human, sorry? Are they human?
They do look, from this distance, you can't really see like their ears, there's no giveaway because it's hidden by like the grey hair, but he looks human, or an older elf, perhaps half elf, but he's more human than anything else.
We were looking for someone who can remove a blood trace.
Ah, you come seeking a favour. Wonderful. I did not even need to discern it, trick it out of you, talk it out of you, woo it out of you,
Why would
wine
you
and
need
dine
to
it
do
out
that?
of you. Sometimes people come and they do not truly know what it is they seek.
Oh. We have 2 friends in an airship, and we would really like to have them land, but without your sentient grass damaging our ship, if that's a problem. Would that be okay?
Of course, it is quite courteous of you. I'm assuming you ask all grass whether it likes being landed on or walked upon.
Honestly, no, but maybe we should in future. This is a new experience for me, and I'm sorry if I should have done.
But
I think I were being raised by a druid.
you just said you believed the grass was sentient.
It was licking my shoes.
It is hungry, it is not sentient.
Is it going to eat my ship?
No, only the dirt from your feet.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It enjoys new experiences from visitors such as yourselves. You are strangers to this land. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting storm, by the way.
You've lost your Charlem accent, by the way.
No, I haven't. It was the same all the way through.
It was like, oh yeah, it sounded a bit more Millie.
Is it picking on me, guys?
I'm so...
Greg, you're muted and you're being sarcastic and no one can tell.
No, you're right. And how were people? I just said I can't believe he's being such a bastard to you. You should call off the wedding.
He always is. I know. I know.
Can't. Pay the deposit and everything.
It's true. We have.
You can always call.
Yes, of
Millie,
course.
blink twice if you'd like us to call up and cancel for you.
Oh, there was no one place they're fine.
I won't do it if you blink fewer than 2 times before the end of this stream.
Okay.
Please,
Anyway, yeah.
call your friends to join us.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll just send a message through the stones to M.
Yeah.
To Ace. To M. Hi, M. To Ace.
Way to break the fourth wall.
Ace, if you just ask Aurelia to land, you're muted too. If you just ask Aurelia to land anywhere flat, the grass will probably clean her.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wonder how
And
that
we're in the
feels
house with
for
the
her.
light.
Hmm?
We're in the house with the lights.
Okay.
I wonder how that feels for her.
Go to tell Aurelia.
I guess we'll ask her later.
Okay.
I wonder if she'll enjoy it.
You speak obviously out loud, confirming what Dice has told you. You cannot hear the response, but almost immediately then the airship does begin to descend into the large clearing noticed earlier by the Reverend, and you feel the crunching of the ship as it changes form once more, and you just pop your head over the side and you can see the large kind of earth-made stone legs pop out and then gently descend. You see a drawbridge then appear as if from nowhere and descend.
I'm
to the
getting
floor.
Hell's Moving Castle vibes.
Very much so.
That's what I've got in my head.
Yeah. There we go. I will grab breath and we shall descend.
Mm-hmm.
Grabbing a flight.
Indeed.
Was there anything I can get you? Drink, food, new
Thank you.
clothes?
No, what's wrong with my clothes?
Nothing, but for one such as you, surely something more regal?
What would you charge for new clothes? I have a feeling you're more about the give and take than the give.
Not at all. I appreciate beauty in all things.
And appreciate mine in its form. What blood trace removals, please?
What would you want in exchange? You said a favour.
I cannot perform the removal myself. However, I do know who can, and I can have them fetched if you wish. But please, have a drink with me first. Tell me your story.
Can I do an insight check on this dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I
luck.
want to know if he's a threat.
Good luck.
20.
14.
Not enough, but 20.
Okay. Every word he says to you rings both true and false. It is impossible to determine his intention behind them, though he does seem eager to learn more about you. You cannot be certain why.
Forgive me, but we're more than happy to answer questions, but I don't think we can give you our whole story. What's with the storm? You seem very hospitable to visitors. It seems unusual that you'd work so hard to keep them away.
This is nothing to do with me. Weather is not my forte.
Who is it to do with?
My wife.
If you don't mind. Your wife
Yes.
doesn't like visitors?
Oh no, she quite enjoys visitors as long as they are the right kind of visitor.
What would be the wrong kind?
Pointier-eared.
Elves.
Yes.
Elves.
Empirical, a bit arrogant. That
It
sort.
was
Inquisitorial.
Oh, they would find it very difficult to come within 100 leagues of here.
I'm just gonna pat the skull on my staff.
He notices. Who is that?
The former Grand Inquisitor.
His eyes widen. You speak the truth, don't you?
Often.
usually. Yeah. We're actually considered too blunt by many people.
I seek nothing from you, then. No favours, no truths. You owe this entire settlement nothing. However, we owe you a great deal.
Just the removal of the blood trace.
I will fetch my wife.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he snaps his fingers. all at once around a cooking pot over in the corner, in a puff of fire and smoke, which very quickly disappears or dissipates, there is a woman. She is hunched. She is wearing... Now, you've seen druids before. They have a very particular aesthetic. Regardless of where they get their garments from, it is always a very similar style. All very natural materials.
The hippies.
Very little metal, but metal is of the earth, so it is used sometimes. But always,
Biodegradable.
always earth tones. Browns, greens, the oranges and reds of autumn. However, everything about this woman is darkness. Blacks and greys. The makeup on her face almost made from ash, charcoal.
He's a goddamn goth.
That kid is hardcore goth.
You see there are ram's horns that have been bolted to a headdress about her that look eerily almost exactly the same as Oriana's. And they are decorated with small... At first you think animal skulls, but then one of the skulls dangling from it, kind of cast in some strange metal. You would imagine that's what Womb would have looked like if he had his skin removed. At the top of her druid staff, there is not the skull of a crow, but it seems... Roll me a nature check, everyone. Or everyone who's there.
Oh, you got it.
It is as this is happening, by the way, that Ace and Reverend, you've come in.
15.
So
12.
I suppose everyone is there. Can we
Yeah.
we also roll the nature?
Yeah, if you wish.
Whole 12.
Oh, it's a good roll, but I don't think I have. Yeah, -1, 18.
Okay.
What am I rolling for?
Nature.
Nature. Okay.
See, messaging about Bart.
I was messaging you about Bart, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nature, not one of
Yeah, it's basically Goth Bart.
Goth Bart. 8?
Okay. Oriana, with your nature roll, especially because of your upbringing, your own nature yourself, you've never seen them on this plane, but you have heard of them because you thought they were the most hilarious thing that could possibly exist in the Nine Hells. Everyone else thought they were terrifying when you showed them this picture as children, but you would chase children around with chickens from the local kind of like chicken coop, and you chase people around with chickens, telling them that you were going to turn them with hellfire into this. It is a very large skull, but it is the skull of an abyssal chicken. Which, by the way, if any of you search up Abyssal Chicken 5th edition, are fucking terrifying. You think, oh, Abyssal Chicken, cool. They're terrifying. They're horrible. I don't like them. You just look...
God, that's so gross.
Exactly, right? But it's an Abyssal Chicken skull. However, as this woman looks at you, and she throws her long hair over her shoulder to get a better look at you, you can see that her ears are pointed. She is elven. And she also looks exactly how you would imagine Oriana to look in about 25 years.
Hello.
Bonjour.
What's your name?
The locals, they call me Magda.
Sorry, say that in a non-French accent.
The locals, they call me Magda.
Magda.
I am the witch of the mountain.
Any other names you're known by? Since the locals call you Magda.
No names that have mattered in a very long time.
You look a lot like my friend. Sorry, Ari.
She stands from the pot she was kneeling near and crosses the room slowly. Not straight towards you, Oriana, but just kind of around you. She looks towards her husband and then looks back at you. Oriana?
Lyra?
She is struck speechless. Her mouth hangs open.
Lila Coralla Lefon.
And she drops to her knees. She looks
Make
back
you
at her
my mother.
She looks back at her husband again. Her husband just smiles. You can't read his face. But she looks at you. What are you doing here? How are you here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go stand outside for a minute and I just walk out.
I would give her a second. We traveled here by airship, if that answers one of your questions.
What? And she looks at you as the most talkative one who knew Oriana.
Usually.
You are... Marcus swore that she would be kept safe forever, and why are you not in one of the Nidums?
That is quite a long story, but as you know of Marcus, and you are clearly related to Oriana, I wouldn't mind sharing with you. We killed a direwolf that was chasing a young boy. As it turned
And
out,
that led you here?
Yeah, actually, that literally led us here. Over a fair amount of time. We also caused a mild revolution in Paras. Amongst other things.
My love, your daughter holds the skull of your old boss.
Oh, you were part of the Inquisition. That must have been horrible.
She kind of looks at her husband and then looks to you. You have no idea.
I might.
Perhaps. Un moment. You mean to tell me, pardon, you are the group that we have been scrying for information on, that destroyed the crystal art, that was growing the corruption throughout the empire?
Okay, that was an accident. But yes.
You are the group that in one blow has ended the war and persecution of most of the known world overnight?
Again, kind of an accident, but yes.
And my daughter is among you?
Your daughter is amazing. She is my best friend, along with Ace. And
when she said daughter, you just hear the Reverend like have a coughing fit behind Dice.
are you okay, Rev?
Yep. Dry throat.
Ace is just patting Rev's back. It's okay.
Ace, Ariana, and I, we grew up in one of the Nidums. And Oriana has saved my life many times, and hopefully, likewise, I have saved hers. She is amazing in every way.
I'd agree.
I understand that meeting me must have been a shock for her, but why does she run from me? How did she know of me?
We didn't.
How she processes things.
And we didn't know you were you. We were just told that there was a blood mage in the mountains who could help remove the trace that the Inquisition put on us when we first left Nidum.
That is not.
Or were thrown out.
That is not in my power. However, I am the only one who can get through to the one whose power it is.
The one whose power it is that nothing?
She stares at you after you say that.
We've had some very interesting experiences.
And you are all still alive to tell of it?
Our last encounter with nothing was interesting. It was shortly after the death of the Grand Inquisitor. But of course, as you know, there is nothing west of Avalon.
So once you cut the strings of the puppet master deigned to speak to you?
I think he was a bit annoyed.
I can imagine.
We felt very bad about it. It makes a great staff ornament.
The one who can lift the curse from me is my daughter.
Oh, that's going to go down like a lead balloon.
Yeah, she kind of met another sibling recently, and it didn't go as well.
On her father's side, I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
No. He, if you are talking about my son in Paris, is of my womb.
Ari! I'm going to just hold that thought, and I'm going to...
Ace is just going to be stood like...
I'm just going to stick my head
Ori
out.
stood outside with the staff looking at the Grand Inquisitor's skull going, I bet you find this real fucking funny, don't you? I bet you're laughing at it.
Ari,
What?
you really need to come talk to her. I'm stepping into territory that's really your story, and I don't want to take it from you. Your story is yours to tell.
Okay, but I've had enough of meeting family.
I know, and it's gone
Kind
super
of backfired
badly.
every time.
I know.
My brother
I know.
hates me. My grandfather tried to kill me. I did steal his crown.
I know. You've had really shit luck. Maybe this one will go better. You know, she seems nice, an ex-Inquisitor elf living in the mountains surrounded by a raging storm with grass that eats dirt.
As far as I was... Oh, but I knew she was an Inquisitor, by the way. Or a part of the Inquisition.
Did I know that?
I might have neglected to tell you, and that's also the reason why the High Inquisitor has a slight obsession with me, because he knows that she's my mother, and he was mad for her.
You know what? He's got a lot of issues. I really think that's only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, okay, I'll come back inside.
Come on. And I'm going to sort of drag Ori back in, but hold her hand as I go in, if she lets me.
Yeah.
While you're popped outside to get Oriana, the charming gentleman kind of gestures to you, Ace, and you, a reverend. Hello, welcome. Please sit. Can I get you anything? A drink, perhaps?
Yeah.
You have ale.
We have ale, wine, something much more exotic.
It's the strongest.
I'm sure I've got some ouzo here somewhere.
Jesus.
And he
bad memories.
kind of just waves his hand and a tray appears on it with a large bottle, clear glass, completely clear liquid, and 4 small glasses. And kind of puts a couple of them in front of you and fills them up.
Okay. Ace is gonna shoot back the first one.
Brave choice.
The reverence is just water for me. This fan.
Of course. Not a trick that is normally attributed to me. Not all the time anyway, but... And he waves his hand over one of the glasses of ouzo, and it gets larger. It's still clear liquid, but it doesn't have that pungent smell of alcohol.
What would you say would be Ace's reaction to ouzo, given their tolerance usually?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Let's say maybe I should roll.
You do get advantage.
Ace is like 16 now?
This is fully a baby.
It's been a year. Ace has had a 16th birthday.
Okay.
Right, let's have a look. I don't remember what my saving throw plus is.
Con.
What was it? Constitution?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 11.
11. You do feel the burn go down your throat. It is a familiar taste. You've had sweets from exotic locales brought to the town as a child, like with this flavour, but nothing ever this strong. And as the burn goes down your throat, you do cough and splutter a bit. It does fill you with warmth. You're not drunk. You're all right. But, yeah.
Do another one.
Okay. Knock another one back. Could I have a con save, please?
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, this one was much better. That was a 15, so what was my plus again? +7, so it's 22 this time.
Okay. It doesn't burn any more than the other. The first shot of ouzo is still coating like your throat. It goes down a lot easier, but you are still filled with warmth. You're pretty certain that, like, you could probably do another one, but any more than that, you're gonna very much start feeling the effects.
I think 2 will do for the conversation that's about to come.
Okay. The gentleman does, however, look at you, Reverend.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the trace on those 3. What is it you wish? Why are you here?
Nothing. I'm quite content. Thank you. Thank you for the water.
Fine, if you are not ready, you may keep your secret.
Much obliged.
And then Dice and Oriana come back in. Your mother, Oriana, has got to their feet. They have, however, stepped not closer to their husband, but closer to the older gentleman sitting there, who still hasn't said a word since you've entered, and has placed their hand gently on their shoulder and gives it a kind of squeeze. And then steps away from them.
Who's that?
That is an old friend. He is in dire need of my husband's help, but my husband cannot help him.
I heard him talking about wanting to get back to her.
At that, the man kind of jerks and looks at you. And then his eyes widen. It is not fear. There seems to be hope in them, and he kind of stands and staggers towards you. You are wearing it. He can do it with your help. He can send me there.
Oh, this bloody crown is turning to be more burden than anything else.
As you say crown, your mother's husband snaps to you.
I can make it visible, can't I?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just make it visible.
As you make it visible, Oriana, and only you can see this, a veil of fire, not burning you, but just very gently and comfortably falls over your eyes. And as it starts to clear, and you look once more at your mother, who is now surrounded by this aura of infernal arcane energy, but it does not lick like the fire of demons that you've seen in your dream walking or the time you spent in the Nine Hells. It seems to glow, like there is a life to her. Almost as if, like other druids, draw their source of power from, the circle of the moon druids from the moon, circle of the land from the earth beneath their feet. Your mother almost appears to be a druid of the infernal realms.
Okay.
But as you look to your left, then, across the fire pit that spreads the length of this room, still leather trousers, still white shirt, but now about 7 foot tall, bright, scarlet, blood red skin, huge horns, beautiful to behold, that do not curl over his head, but just kind of come out of his forehead and curve back into huge ram's horns. And a pair of bright, shockingly huge wings sprouting from his back as he looks at you with eyes like burning fire. And you can see there a burn mark across his forehead, where perhaps a crown once sat.
Oh, that ended well for you then. You're how he got hold of it.
I am who it was stolen from.
Well, I stole it back.
It was either save the crown, or save a small bundle of kicking, screaming, purple flesh, dressed in nothing but the rags we had as we ran. I elected to save the bundle.
Appreciate that.
Well met, daughter.
Uh-huh.
You can all hear
Yeah.
this. None of you can see what Oriana sees.
No, but I'd guessed.
I can't show you what I see, but yeah, it makes sense. By the way, there's a demon in the room.
Okay.
Good to know.
Your father goes, really? Where? And then just turns back at you and smiles.
Top tier dad joke.
That is such a dad joke. I'm a little surprised at you.
I have been practicing.
You really fucked up, Claw.
Yeah.
That was not my intent. There is
No,
more
I
of
don't
his
think-
grandfather in him than I would have wished.
Oh, he's a delightful man as well. I sort of gesture to the scars across my chest.
You met my father.
Yeah, he wanted this back.
I'm sure he did. And
I
you
wasn't pleased when I took off with it. Neither was Claw.
And I'm sure all of your friends have performed equal feats of wonder.
Not equal to that, I don't think.
Where is the one
Eight.
amongst you who's destroyed the crystal heart?
He is no longer with us.
He's taking a sabbatical.
He's helping those that he's freed. Like a pilgrimage.
Sabbatical.
Where is the
But
one amongst
also-
you who stopped the corruption outside Kalas? Freed the messenger of Odin?
I point to Ace. I was about to say this one has the power of a god. And
Just make things go
Dice
TikTok.
here is possibly the smartest person I know.
Aww. I just make things go TikTok. That's pretty much my skills.
You should see her do the renegade.
What?
It was a dance tried on TikTok.
I understood that reference.
And this gentleman, we actually know very little about. So,
Oh yeah, this is a stray we picked up a couple of days ago.
Howdy.
but he seems nice.
Keep doing that.
There are many things in this man's past that you may learn.
Man?
He has impressed me.
If he wants us
He's,
to learn,
he's
then that's
staring
all
at he's staring at you, Reverend, as he says this.
Well, that's his business if he wants us to learn it or not.
Sure, I don't know how I impressed you.
Someone with desires like yours could have only gained or lost through some terrible hardship. You have survived. You have impressed me.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Anyway, we came here to get a blood trace removed.
It would be super helpful to not have the Inquisition able to work out exactly where we are at all times.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
been-
kind of sick of your ex-stalker stalking me.
Yeah. He really likes Oriana. In a creepy, murderous way.
Yeah, it's weird.
You see the
He's
look.
really developed a fetish for it.
You see the look on Oriana's mother's face go cold. And you see the fire, the length of the room, the fire pit flare up. And instead of just smouldering hot coals now, there are huge flames licking up halfway towards the ceiling. And you see the man in the tattered coat put his hand on her shoulder. And the fire dies down. If you wish the blood curse to be removed, you must speak to your sister, Oriana.
My what?
What, you thought your father and I? We have
I
had a
don't
lot
really
of
want to think
time.
about it.
We had a lot of time alone together on top of a mountain.
I
There is
still
not
don't
much.
want to think about it.
There is not much to
Still
do.
do not want to think about it.
Your father's just standing behind her with a big grin on his face.
I am very well aware of what there is to do when you have time. Trust me.
Like mother, like daughter, then.
Is our sister here? Just to change the subject a little, because... Ew. Is Ariana's sister on top of this mountain, or are we travelling somewhere new?
Oriana's sister is outside. And he gestures to the wind howling outside.
My sister's a storm.
Your sister has created the storm.
Oh, good. Okay.
There are
Be more precise.
few reasons why she would turn her attentions from it. I'm sure meeting a long-lost family member might be one of those reasons. I would say normally we would test you. There would be trials, adventures, strange dreams where you battled over your past and made choices again and then sword become of a different future, just in case.
Yeah, you're just describing the last year of my life.
Yep.
Some of those trials would have been at the beginning of the last year of your life. What would you have done had you not helped the Elven Prince? If you were still in Nidum, what would the state of the world be now? What wars would have been fought without you ever knowing it? Would the world have ended or continued? However, I think you have braved enough not to be put through those trials. You have done enough. So we will fetch your sister. I think it will take both of us. And your mother nods at him. And they walk down the length of the room and out the front door, and she looks back at you, Oriana, just nods and then steps out with your father. Leaving you alone with the old man in the tattered coat.
What do you all brought back?
Hey.
Or taken to?
My wife has been lost to me for some time. In that time, all of my children have been lost to me. I know where some of them lie, waiting to be brought back by our combined powers, but age has stripped me of my sight, and I can no longer find them.
Are you a dragon?
And he looks at you. Technically, no.
Were you once a dragon?
I have been known to be.
I have a friend who's a gold dragon.
What?
Which is the soul of one.
Yes.
You hear a voice in your head, Dice. Dice?
Mm-hmm.
There is a bright light, brighter than anything I have ever seen, standing before you. What is it?
I think something to do with a dragon.
No dragon has ever burnt that bright.
So you're not a dragon, you are something brighter than a
A
dragon.
god?
I am from before dragons.
Before dragons, Aurelia?
Dragons birthed the world. There is nothing before dragons, apart from what
Dragons.
birthed the dragons.
You birthed the dragons. You are the father of dragons.
I have been called that, yes.
Would you want to talk to one of your children?
I would enjoy this very much.
Aurelia, if I bring him to you, or you go back into...
He steps forward and touches your face.
Okay, never mind.
The rest of you see Dice's eyes shine. They are almost as if they are made from balls of platinum. The pupils, irises gone, as if they've been replaced by solid platinum. Dice, you are in a beautiful, picturesque clearing in Nidum. You are 10 years old. You are tinkering with a toy, making it better, probably for Oriana's birthday. You're not quite sure, but you've never been happier. It is one of your happiest memories. And then in a moment, you are back, and he takes his hand from your face, and you can see tears in his eyes. You taught my child to fly once more.
Technically, she already knew. I just gave her something to fly.
You taught her to fly without wings.
Sort of, yes.
Thank you.
It's okay. I know where another one of your children is.
Where?
Great Hall resting place.
The Great Tower Restful Station.
Still, not to blow my own trumpet, best thing I've ever fucking come up with. Just
there
for
is a-
the look on Greg's face when he twigged at what the kobolds were saying.
So mad then, I'm still mad now.
If you go to Porthcal, there is a mine underneath it. There's a little hidden bit. There are some kobolds attempting to resurrect a dragon using grey tar at the Restful Station. It's a silver dragon. It's been petrified, I think, is the best explanation. But it's still there and could be woken up.
Should return it.
After all this time, greater restoration could not. However, the combined powers of myself and my ex-wife, if she is willing, perhaps.
Okay, so
Well,
who is your ex-wife and where is she?
Yep.
She is currently a prisoner in the Nine Hells.
Oh,
I see.
I
I
am
can't go back there.
Bahamut. Her name is Tiamat.
You want to... Now,
Didn't
There
we
would-
meet a bunch of Dragonborn that wanted to bring back a Tiamat?
we did. They are now dead. But we did.
Not our fault, by the way.
Definitely not our fault on that
They got
occasion.
into a fight with somebody they shouldn't have.
I already rolled a religion check against Tiamat and came up with nothing, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very annoying. That is very, very, very annoying.
You haven't tried against Bahamut.
Can I roll again? Can I roll a religion check against Bahamut? Thank you! Come on, just this time. Come on. Give me bloody something. Okay, it's not as sucky as the religion check against Tiamat was. It's 18.
Okay.
I know who Bahamut is. How can I not know who Tiamat is? That's clearly batshit.
I said so.
Hang on. Fuck, yeah, stop it. 18, you said, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. You've heard of Bahamut before. You obviously knew dragons have not been seen out and about in the world for a very long time, millennia. But you believe, from what you've read, Bahamut is the father, the progenitor of all, from what you've heard, all metallic dragons. But as deities are wont to do, as you've met a few, probably avatars of some deities yourself, perhaps, recently, there are a lot more natural, maybe, in their creation of life than stories of the gods would have you believe. It is
Now-
probably natural.
Is this your way of delicately saying that the gods fuck?
Yeah.
So, can I...
Fuck a god.
No. Can I make an intelligence check, therefore, to extrapolate what I think Tiamat would be responsible for? If Bahamut was responsible for the metallic dragons, can I make an intelligence check to determine what Tiamat would have done?
You wouldn't need to make an intelligence check. I'd probably give that much.
You put
to
two
you.
and two together.
You could put two and two together.
And do I know enough to know that chromatic dragons were less nice?
Considered evil,
That.
absolutely.
So, your ex-wife would not be as kind to the world, I think.
She has been as kind to the world as I have. She has been as cruel to the world as I have.
Is that why Oriana's dad... I don't actually know his name. Ori?
Sorry?
Your dad. What's his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Is that-
legitimately do not know that. I never found it out.
He's
We should ask.
he's the prisoner of a grandfather.
Yeah. But is that why Oriana's dad wouldn't help you?
He told me he did not have the source of his power that would allow him to open a portal into the Nine Hills to allow me to try and save my wife.
Okay, so one, you could get stuck in the Nine Hells with your ex-wife. And two, again, my grandfather doesn't like me, and he's kind of the king down there.
Also, if Tiamat was released,
Oh, that does also seem like a bad idea.
This world, the plane on which you and I currently exist, is cut off from the energies of the infernal, the celestial, everything.
I'm aware, although not completely.
They are
for
not,
now.
They are not cut off from each other. If I was to travel to the Nine Hells, I would have access to a font of power that I had not touched in 2,000 years. And there is not a demon prince or his army that could stop me from saving her.
Okay, and that's all well and good. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, godliness. But would you bring Tiamat back here? Because I'm pretty fond of humanity as a whole. And I don't want to be part, not that I'm saying we even can help, but if we could, I don't want to be part of, wiping out everyone else.
Let's just say she would owe you a favor.
That's Aurelia.
Yes, friend Dice. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have brought me such an amazing gift. Thank you for what you have done. I could not have hoped upon meeting you that I would ever be able to speak to my great grandfather ever again.
You're very welcome. I have a couple of questions that I'm hoping you might have some answers.
Of course, anything for you.
What do you know of Tiamat?
She's the mother of dragons.
Is she dangerous? To humans? Elves? Gnomes? Dwarves?
Of course. As were all dragons.
If dragons were able to be brought back, there would be a lot of deaths from that, I think.
Perhaps. But the world is wrong.
I know.
Without us, the world is wrong. There are many things that once were, that are no longer. The world is imbalanced. And the balance does not tip currently in your favor, Dice.
Now that is true.
It'd be good to have a god owe us a favor.
Bahamut looks at you. Dragons, whether you believe them good or evil, depending on something as crazy as the color of their scales. Dragons were an elemental force of life on this plane. They are, or were, the forces of nature. There is an almighty force building against life as you know it. I believe I heard you mention you had met them. As much as you can perceive, whatever you spoke to, whatever form it took, whatever words it used, is nothing as to the power it is.
Okay.
Dragons fight on the side of life, taking or creating.
Okay, first things first, we get the blood trace removed.
Step on.
Second thing, I'm open the gate to the Nine Hells. Great. Sounds exactly like something you should do on a Tuesday. And I'm gonna head outside to my parents.
I have a question, if I may.
For Bahamut, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
If y'all godly types have access to such tremendous power when in the realm of the hells, how is it that these demons that you would handle so expeditiously are keeping your lady prisoner?
She made the wrong choices. Made the wrong deals with the wrong people. She was, some would say, justifiably angry with me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I don't mean to pry into how she ended up in her current predicament. I just mean to say that presumably she would have the same access to celestial power as your good self, and if so, then why can't she do what you could do?
Her anger caused her to agree to a deal without reading, as you would put it, the fine print. It is that fine print that curbs her power.
Mm,
I have made no such deal.
I see. Can't be too careful with
Demon contracts.
I was gonna say with folks who are clever with words. I just like glance outwards to where Ori's father was.
Okay. He owes me a favor.
Would you also owe us a favor
Of course.
if we could help? And again, I'm not saying that we will or can. What do you know of the nothing?
He stares into the fire for a long moment. And as he's contemplating his answer, Oriana,
Huh?
you step outside. And before you get 2 steps away, you can see, walking back from the fire, hand in hand, between them, almost skipping, being swung like a small child. There is maybe 10, 12 years old, a young girl, long, dark black hair, spilling down her back almost to the floor, with like shocks of purple and red running through it. She has bright red skin, but it seems to shift and change in the firelight. There are like streaks of purple that blend perfectly with the red. She's an incredibly cute little tiefling child. Her horn's not grown, obviously, as much as yours. But you can see the amount of times you've maybe caught your own reflection in a mirror or like polished glass. There is a resemblance. And as she looks up at you, one eye is jet black, and you can see a small fire burning where a pupil or the iris should be, and her other eye is the bright blue of your mother's.
You're a chaotic looking little thing, aren't you?
I have been told that many times. Oui? Crap.
Battle map.
Battle map.
God damn you.
Sorry, everything's got back to place, I think. Yeah.
I think you got away with it.
Cool. Awesome. You are my older sister?
Apparently so.
You are pretty?
We get it from my mother, I think.
When I grow up, am I going to look like you?
Maybe.
Then perhaps, Mama, I can finally go down into the village and meet the boys? Oui?
Oh, don't tether yourself to just the boys.
No. But when I meet the boys, if I do not like them, or if they try and chase me, or try and pinch me, or touch me, and I do not want them to, I will set them on fire.
Yes. That's what worked for me anyway.
Your mother looks exasperated. Your father chuckles.
I look at my mother and go, no, that's literally what I had to do. You can't grow up in a village looking like this. And
She kind of points at you. There is a line from here. She touches your chest, from your heart, just above your heart. And there are two more, and she points inside the barn. And they go over there. And she points north, off into the distance.
Yeah.
You are like a pet. There is a leash upon you.
yes. And a leash I no longer want, and neither do my friends. Actually, we never wanted them.
I can cut the cord.
I'd appreciate that.
I do not know how I do it. There are things I can do. Sometimes without me wanting them to happen.
Oh, I know that feeling.
This storm started. It grows. Or I can make it stop. But I have not worked out yet how to make it go away. My mother says, though, it is a good thing.
It's definitely keeping people away.
There is a different thing I can do, if you wish.
Okay. I want to crouch down to her level now.
Mm-hmm. Your line, it can go both ways.
What do you mean?
The person on the other end of the line knows where you are, but only where you are. If you wish, I could change it so they would know where you are, but if they used it, you would know where they are.
Could you do that only to mine and cut my friends?
Oui.
Then let's do that.
But also,
But don't tell my friends.
you could use it, but then they would know you have done so.
Okay. Well, we can do that to mine, but we'll cut my friends. But don't just tell my friends you cut mine, okay?
Oui. And she holds her hand up and makes a snipping motion with her fingers. Once, twice. And then she grasps and holds it in a fist, and you see a glow of red-white fire start to build in her hand. And all at once, you can see the line traveling from your chest off into the distance, like a trail of blood that has been boiled into a steam, but it is a thin wisp of red blood steam that kind of travels off into the distance. And you can see a pulse coming just straight towards you, a pulse of light running along it, until suddenly the pulse slows and it stops. And then it starts to travel back the other way, and then comes back towards you, and then back the other way, and then back towards you. It is done.
You're very clever. What's your name?
Suddenly, a burst of power comes from her. The fire in the center of the village is now pink. And every time ash, or like a mote of ash or an ember flies off it, it turns into a glowing, fiery butterfly and starts to fly like haphazardly around the bonfire.
Ari ends up sitting down where she is and just laughing.
My name is Cosette.
You get used to it, by the way. The wild magic.
You are the same?
Mm-hmm.
Then we are truly sisters?
Turned myself blue once.
Blue?
Mm-hmm. And all my friends invisible.
I think I prefer the purple. And she looks at
Me
you and then
too.
she kind of touches one cheek, which is at the moment purple.
I also twice have summoned a small robot. And a friend of mine is very interested in robots, but before she can look at them, the robot disappears. She's very frustrated.
The model, the small, the spindly metal arms, and
Yes!
I've seen one once.
Ah. Yeah, only twice. And once I turned him invisible as well.
The most fun I have had is when I could see everyone, but they could not see me, so I wandered around for a minute. I do not think I was invisible because everything seemed to be a bit like floaty and misty. I think I do not know where I was.
It's, I think, a little bit like shifting a plane to a different plane.
Oui.
I've done that.
It is Can we see your friends?
Yes, yeah, they would love to meet you.
Okay.
I'm just
will.
completely ignoring my parents.
Okay.
I pick her up as well and just walk in with her.
Okay. And you walk back into the town, or into the longhouse. Bahamut is still staring at the fire. But as the door shifts, he almost takes that cue. As his thoughts collected, he turns to you then, who asked about the nothing dice. The plane on which you live is reality. It is life. It is light. It is pain, death, discomfort, love, kindness. It is real. Everything that exits this world, the dragons, the other races the elves have hunted into extinction, tips the balance of scale. Now imagine this world, every living being on it, every star you see in the sky at night, around which other worlds orbit, all the life that could possibly exist on them. Nature has opposites in almost everything. If this plane is life, and all the power in it could be combined into one force, the nothing is the opposite of that force. When all the planes were combined, the nothing was small, because there was so much of everything else. But when the planes were cut off from each other, and the scales were tipped so far, so quickly, the nothing rose. It awoke. It saw what, in its ignorance, it had allowed to be, and it screamed. And in that scream of anger, of anguish, a thought was born. A thought that gained purchase, that grew a mind around it, to think more thoughts, to make more machinations. The nothing is the end of everything. And that is what it wishes, that is what it will attempt. And that is what I hope to at least delay by bringing the power of dragons back to the world. I will need help to defeat it, if ever I ever can, but I will lay down my life to delay it, at least.
It would probably make more sense not to.
Oh, I only mean that if I have to, I will.
Good, because it sounded pretty fatalistic there for a second. And
There is
so,
little I can do at the end of my delaying tactics to survive if there is nothing else or no one else working to help. You have dealt a blow against the nothing. The elves were working for him, or it. They are no longer. However, the works that they have done in its name up until now, there is unfortunately no stopping them.
no. But there are perhaps other things we could do if we worked together. The humans would possibly fight. They have no love for the elves, perhaps even the elves. Now that they understand a little differently. Rather than laying down your life to delay it, maybe it would make more sense to try and I'm aware that this is a grandiose idea, bring people together. And there are gods on this plane. Yes, they're not as strong as they once were, but they're not completely weak. I know of at least 2 that are here. I've met one of them. He was nice.
Dice to Marionis. I think that you, daughter of humans, child of the gnomes, Bridge, I think you'd be surprised at what the decisions or the actions of one mortal can do against the nothing.
I'm not one mortal. I'm at least 3 mortals, maybe 4, maybe even 5.
It was the decision of one mortal that brought this cataclysm upon us in the first place. Those intentions, I believe, were true at the time.
Arthur Pendragon.
You know the tale.
A friend had a book. The book told a story. Okay, the book sucked us in and showed us a story, which was a little different to telling a story, but yeah.
And let me tell you the end of that story.
The humans rose up and defeated the nothing, and everything was okay again, and all the planes opened again, and the world was good. Yeah, it's worth trying.
A group of mortals found the once and future king and got him to take it back. And in doing so, they perhaps saved everyone.
You want us to find Arthur Pendragon wherever he is and get him to change his mind.
I said a group of mortals. I did not say you.
Are there any other mortals looking to do this? Because I'm going to go out on a limb and say there aren't many.
I think perhaps there's at least one. You all have an image of Quill. Well, you, apart from you, Reverend, have an image of Quill in your mind.
Quill is unavailable at this time. Please leave a message after the time.
The hero you were attempting to contact has not been recognized.
Please check and try again. Ah, old people jokes. Good.
I'm not old.
Oriana,
Yeah.
would you give your crown to your father so that he may open a portal?
Okay, turn to my father. Would you give it back afterwards?
I might.
No,
Oh,
good
come
enough.
on.
I suppose it would have perhaps been yours one day anyway. Nothing wrong with giving you your inheritance early. I think some mortals are known to do that. Yes?
Sometimes.
Plus, I haven't worn it in so long. I don't think it would suit me anymore. I much prefer this. And he points down at the normal clothing he's wearing. Much more...
Really?
Yes, much more comfortable.
Spiky crown is spiky.
For your mother, at least.
Dude.
I can't comment on that. I've been stabbed in the back by the last family member I met. How can I be incredibly sure that you're supposed to be dead?
You were supposed to be living out your years in a perfectly safe village called Nidum. I will be having words with Marcus.
No, I already have several times.
I know, but my words... I mean, I'm going to hit him.
I haven't tried that yet.
Oh, it's fun. I've done it a few times over the centuries.
Okay, fine. But I want it back, because it's kind of handy. Also, you might want to give it a rest. Sort of had to play with it earlier.
For you, it may need to be recharged. But what that means is you would need a recharge before you use it again. Because it draws on your energies. I assume you've noticed the transformation that you sometimes make when you use it?
Yeah, the one time I've used it for something that big out of sheer wanting to know.
You took on a much more paternal appearance.
Yeah, really gnarly hands.
I will only take it if you trust me and give it as a gift to be returned once it has been used.
Okay, fine.
Do we have a deal? And he says that in Infernal. And you can feel the power behind the words.
Yeah, respond in Infernal. Deal.
Okay. He shakes your hand. There is a burning sensation. You can feel the fire in both your palms. It tickles. And then you blink and you see that the crown is on his head.
Looks better on me.
I don't doubt it, daughter.
It does.
And now, as the crown then appears for all of you to see, you can all see the 7-foot-tall demonic prince in all of his glory. A wingspan almost twice as wide as Oriana's. dripping fire. And as he turns, the chairs at the head of the room begin to shift and change, and the stone bases they were made from rise up into what is now familiar to a few of you as one of the portals you've seen a few of on your travels. Inside it, fire begins to rage, and he nods to Bahamut, and Bahamut nods to the rest of you.
As Bahamut's going, I to go. Good luck finding your wife, ex-wife.
He holds up his hand, and there's a ring on his finger, and you can see the 5 different colours of gemstones all woven into each other, impossibly. I will find her. Always. And he walks through the portal. The fire flares, immediately dissipates, and you see your father, Oriana, drop to all fours, panting with exertion. The crown falls off his head and rolls back towards you.
Now pick it up and stick it back on.
Okay. You put the crown back on. It does not feel as if anything has changed. It almost immediately disappears when it is on your head. And your father turns and looks at you. See, I am a man of my word. I always repay favors.
You guys are super awkward question.
More or less awkward than everything that has happened since you arrived.
50-50.
Mm-hmm.
The very cute little girl behind Oriana. Why did you not send her to Nidum? Why did you send Ori?
She is 12 years old. The Inquisition has not been hunting us for, well, the span of Oriana's life. They thought we were dead. There was no need.
But when you had Oriana, it was necessary?
They were hunting us high and low. The reason Oriana was taken to safety is because they burnt our house down around us.
Okay, that's a pretty good reason, then.
Some members of the Inquisition did not listen to their superior and thought fire would...
Yeah, that's a really weird choice, actually, against any of you.
Unfortunately, Oriana was a loud baby and frequently gave away our position to Inquisition hunters.
Now I do it on purpose.
Well, yes, but now you are powerful enough to burn them in their armor.
Some of them.
We will... I have to rest.
Yeah, you look like shit.
You may stay here. And he waves his hands towards the more private tables that are away from the center of the room. Curtains come down. And you can see just through the curtains that a lot of these tables now have turned into beds. Please, rest here. I hope that I haven't had enough strength left to make them at least comfortable.
Thank you.
I fear you will not rest here long. You have things to be getting on with.
Yes. Oh, I turned to Ace and Dice. The blood traces have gone.
Hey, cool.
Yep. We are no longer being traced.
So what do I do with the necklace? The one that stops
it's
people.
It's a nice piece of jewelry.
Probably get a good price for the right person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's interested in knowing this, but my passive insight is 19.
You want me to roll deception?
You told the truth.
She didn't.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. The trace is gone.
Yeah, she didn't just say their traces were gone. She said the traces are gone. She is concealing something.
Okay, yeah, all right.
was going to say, that's fully a lie.
I don't think this is going to be a problem for Ori rolling
What
deception.
was your passive insight?
19.
Oh. Where's it gone? Why can't I find... There it is. Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine.
What was-
15 plus 8.
Yeah, you go.
It seems like the worm is on the other foot, eh?
The worm is fully on the other foot. Can I just go, Ariana, I'd love to meet your little sister.
You can do
yes.
so in the morning. She has spent the best part of the last 12 hours playing in a thunderstorm. She needs to sleep.
Okay, well, I'd like to meet you tomorrow. It's very nice to meet you. You're very cute. Hi.
She waves at you.
Mm.
You start to see little fiery butterflies fly in through the door, and they start to hover around her.
Good night, Cosette. Sweet dreams.
I look at Ori and go, Cosette?
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Cosette.
And she walks out with her mother. At the door, the mother turns around. Ariana,
Yeah.
I would like it if you did not leave so quickly.
I'll try.
I would speak with you if you wish.
Sure.
Tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow.
And she walks out with her daughter and her husband, leaving you all alone in the longhouse.
I grab a bottle of wine and take it to bed with me.
That was a weird... This has been a weird day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You just hear a cork popping and chugging noises.
Justified.
I can recommend the Uso for that, Ori.
I pop my head back out and grab that bottle and I start chugging the bottle of...
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, Ace looks concerned. Right. Good bed?
Good burn.
She's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll a Constitution saving throw. It doesn't take long. You are very, very drunk, and pretty much as soon as you've just chugged it, I would have said with disadvantage if you were going to actually roll.
Well, that one was 24. Yeah,
Ori's got a hell of a constitution.
Yeah, on disadvantage, not so much.
It's good to have a good constitution when you drink.
It'll be
booze, though,
14
'cause
on disadvantage.
if that makes you sick, you'll remember the taste for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. As soon as you lay down, your head is swimming, and you figure the only way it's going to stop is if you close your eyes and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. The good numb.
The rest of you are left there. Reverend,
Hello.
as you stand there staring at your new friends, deliberating on everything you've seen so far, which is, quite a lot, considering, your life up until this moment. You and only
Hasn't been
you,
without occurrences.
no, but you and only you hear incredibly fast footfalls and the flapping of small wings like a hummingbird.
I am immediately I probably was leaning against a wall. I'm immediately very alert with pepper box in hand.
Mm-hmm. You feel a tug at your coat.
Bin. Gun out.
Nothing there. The footfalls start to recede. The flapping goes away. There is a weight in your pocket.
Very slowly, uncock the gun and place it away. Jesus Christ! And
Sorry.
yeah, reach down to that pocket.
Okay. Out of the pocket then comes a medallion. It's solid gold. Stamped on it is the symbol. You've seen it before. You're quite au fait with the gods of Gracia.
Mm-hmm.
There is the symbol of Athena stamped on it. However, the medallion itself is almost completely broken in two. And where the jagged rent is broken almost straight through the center of the symbol of Athena is burnt. And in your hands, you feel like they're a static, like an electric shock almost, before it dissipates quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you get from it.
Does this communicate anything to me? Outside of the most obvious?
Having been around your new friends, the conversations that Oriana, pretty much the information that they all quite freely give in conversation about what's gone on, and they don't care about secrets. They never have. They're all still alive. It doesn't really matter. They don't have anyone in the group telling them not to give away their identities anymore. Party pooper that they were. Sorry. You know that Oriana is desperate to travel to Gracia because they have been warned by Hades, which, you were a bit, really? Actually talking to Hades? Really? But now from what you've seen, plus Oriana's worries that she's been warned by Hades that someone is murdering the gods, and this symbol, you have cause to worry about Athena. And whether Athena is still of this plane.
Mm. Is anyone else still in the room with me?
Yeah, this has all happened while Ace and Dice were still in the room with you.
Okay. So you did just see me, like, suddenly pull out my gun, whip around, and aim it at nothing behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're both looking at you going.
I'll just, like, turn my hand outwards and, like, drop the medallion. So I'm just holding it by the chain. So you can see the damage. Received a message.
Received the message? Like, in your head?
No, in my pocket.
So sorry.
I got a pocket full of messages.
I didn't mean to break out. I just... Okay. In your pocket? Do messages often appear in your pocket?
No, this would be the first.
What's the message?
You see it before you. This medallion was placed here.
Does this have meaning for you?
Yes. This is the symbol of the goddess Athena. In accordance with what Oriana had said about a threat to the gods. I worry for... Well, Athena is wise and powerful and certainly not one who would need our help. standing up for herself, but this worries me.
You know, when Ori is sober, she's pretty. She talks to Hades semi-regularly. Regularly, she might be able to get an answer for you. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I can try. I don't know that my particular god has much to do with Athena. I would imagine Hades would be better, but I can try.
Perhaps. It seems that Ariana's god has already given her this message about the threat to his family. This seems to be my own god's way of communicating that same warning.
You think she's just telling you that there is danger?
Oh, my god isn't Athena.
Oh.
I serve Hermes.
Wait, I think I knew that. Did I know that? I might have known that.
Probably.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense then. That Hermes has sent you a message regarding Athena.
Yeah, although I'm a simple sword, I wouldn't have. I'd expect the god of messengers to communicate a little more clearly.
Well, you know, sometimes that's not always possible, though. We've had some very vague messages. Not all of them are a god of dragons stood in front of you.
This is a little disorienting. I'm just an ordinary reverend. I'm not Thor, whose god communicates with them directly. I'm not a big time hero like all of y'all.
Yeah, so we didn't start out this way either. It just sort of happened. And we have some big things that we're hoping to do. So maybe if you're with us, then you need more direct contact to keep you safe.
Mayhap.
People keep telling us to do big things. Actually, I'd quite like to not, but here we are.
This is a little new for me. This thing I'm holding, it's a heck of a weight. I'm gonna hold the medallion out to Dice. Could you take this for now?
If you want me to. Sure. If you're not comfortable holding on to it, yeah, I'd be happy to help.
Extremely uncomfortable.
Okay. And I'll reach my hand out for the medallion and see if I can take it.
Yep. I hand it over if I can.
Yeah, you can hand it over, no problem. It's still there. It's still solid. The medallion is real. It is not just like a spectral message that only the Reverend can see. It is there. But as you kind of hold the medallion, there's no longer a static charge from it. There's nothing. It's just cold gold.
Gold.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't fold.
It does.
Always leaving a soul.
Gold's actually really malleable, so it probably would fold.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hard to fold a gold medallion, I reckon. You have to work quite.
Especially with Dice's
You
strength
really have
score.
to work.
Depends on how kind the carrot is.
Pardon?
You're the carrot.
The carrot. Yes, that's true.
I will just tuck it into the bag of holding, probably, to keep it out of the way. And keep it safe. But at some point, I'm going to do. At some point, I'm going to check for identify. I'm going to do identify. That's how the game do.
Okay.
But not tonight because I don't have it until tomorrow.
So is there anything else you would all like to do before sleep?
Just as I'm walking off towards the bed, I'm going to pat the Reverend on the shoulder and go, I promise it gets easier having big things thrown at you. Or, not easier, but you gotta just roll with the punches. It'll be okay. Probably. Or we've just unleashed a load of dragons on the earth and everything's going to go to hell. It could be either.
I've taken a punch or two before. I know what you're talking about.
Did you roll?
Yeah. Let's say so.
Good night,
I'm
Reverend.
still standing now.
You do look very solid. Sleep tight. And I will go and lie next to Oriana, but like behind her, just in case she throws up in her sleep. You drank a lot of ouzo.
That's valid. That is very valid.
I'm gonna spoon Oriana from behind.
Okay. Everyone else going to go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as you all then bed down for the night, to think over what you have learned this evening, I think we will leave the session there. Because we have run over a bit.
Yeah. I need to go to bed.
We apologise. Sorry, it's already past 11, but we got to play!
I apologise for.
We're going to play again!
After all this time.
Yes!
After a month.
Thank you so much for obviously bringing Griffin to his first D&D game at the beginning, because that was amazing.
Yeah.
Not many babies start at 3
He's
months
just
old.
over there, but
I know.
he's...
Where he woke up all wide-eyed just at the start of the game.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Super
But
cute.
yes, also thank you
He's in
everyone.
there.
Thank you everyone for coming back. Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
coming back and joining us for
Yeah.
episode 87 after months and months off.
We missed you guys.
You
Yes,
can,
we did.
of course, if you type the commands thing, Mill,
Yeah.
the mod commands thing.
I don't remember how to do that.
I think it's !commands.
It's
Anyway,
either command or commands. Charlie did it.
there we go. Right. The previous 86 episodes, if you want to see our faces, is available on our YouTube, which is just YouTube Dice of the Beholder. Chronicles of Nidum are all on there, and some silly one-shots we did. I can't remember, but I think we filmed the Christmas one with all of the weird sweets that Millie made, a gelatinous cube out of jelly and an entire fort out of gingerbread, which seemed like a really good idea
None
at
of
the
it with
time
strawberry flavour.
to eat it all. But I'm sure Greg can attest how much of a bad idea that was the next day.
No, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and there were no consequences.
But yes, please pop over to our
come
YouTube.
on.
If you haven't already, subscribe. And just watch them if you want. Otherwise, if you don't need to see our faces and you just want to listen to our lovely voices, I think I should have caught up, but the first 60 odd episodes are available on Spotify. Just search Dice of the Beholder or Chronicles of Nidum and you will find them all on there. But yes, episode 87 is done and dusted. We have one more sponsor than we had before than we did before the last time we streamed. So thank you very much.
Sponsor is Diet Coke.
Shut up. Thank you
We're on
very
Spotify,
much.
and all of Heavyweight stuff is slowly being moved onto Spotify as well, so everything can be listened to.
Yes, we are on Spotify. So pop over to Spotify or YouTube. Well, YouTube anyway, but pop over to Spotify, give them a listen. The rest of them will be uploaded soon. Thank you very much to Loki Battlemats, as always. Thank you very much to Blink Dog Dice, and thank you very much to Sirenscape for providing the wonderful thunder noises in the background since we've been in the middle of this storm. But yeah, join us on this channel tomorrow. Join at least two of us, me and Millie, as we stream episode 18. 18?
Yes.
of When Glory is
Glory's
Not Enough, where apparently either we will level up or die. So that's going to be fun. Gotta love AD as a DM. And then obviously join us again on Tuesday for another wonderful episode of Fables Among Titans, which unfortunately I can't watch because I will be being paid to DM for Adventurers
He's
League.
so happy.
Ian,
Look how happy he is.
about it.
Ian, I will see you
what a
there, my man. Ian, yes, I will see you there, hopefully. I saw Alex the other day. He said he'd already bought tickets for you because, you know, Alex is such a nice guy. So yes, I'll see you all. I'd see anyone who can attend. I'll see you in Adventurers League. But apart from that, as always, take care, stay safe. We love you guys. We're back, baby! And we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye.